Welcome to Day 12 of the CFS SA Masters 2026 Summer Group Stage, where every round can shift the standings and every mistake can cost more than ever before. The stage is getting heavier, the matches are getting hotter, and the fight for the playoff contention continues. Kami nga palang inyong kasama dito sa inyong panel. I'm Mochi alongside with Bipolar at kitang-kita naman parang pupunta lang kami sa gender reveal. Pero ang i-reveal natin today kung sino ang mga malalakas. Kamusta ka naman, Bipolar?
Okay naman, no. Again, just like what you've said, no, malalakas ang makikita natin dito because the peak of Crossfire Philippines is now incoming dito pa lang sa week na to. And first day ng ating, this week pa lang, this is day number 12 of the group stage wherein talagang batakan na kung batakan. Whoever shall fall, we will count on them, but whoever wins, we will see them continue in the stage. Pero syempre, Mochi, it's still one hell of a day. Parang kahit kanino pwede mapunta to.
Exactly. And I feel like tama lang na balikan natin kung ano nga ba yung mga nangyari from our last day ng last week, no? Especially na hindi rin biro yung mga laban na nangyari doon. And this time, it is veteran against execration wherein, to be fair, halos nalapitan nila itong si execration sa mapa ng South Base. Pero at the same time, parang medyo nagkanda clip farm ata ang execration dito against veteran.
Yun nga, Mochi, we saw two maps na kung saan both teams played well. We saw veteran use these kinds of map pagdating sa kanilang qualifiers. Meanwhile, itong ating execration has a formidable port and as well as subbase. This is the first time na nilaro ng execration sa buong group stage natin ang ating port, and you'd love to see it because still, it ended up in a 10-2 scoreline kung saan hindi nila pinahinga. It was a bloodfest kung saan Yote was hitting shots. It was a gunfight mula dito kay Polis pati kay CBN. Pero pagdating natin dito sa subbase, just like what you've said, Mochi, hindi in-expect ng ating players mula sa execration na ganito tututok si Twinties, na ganito si Drones, na ganito ang buong veteran just because of the map of Subbase. Yes, we know them to be household things pagdating ng port, pero we know them to be an amazing force pagdating dito sa ating Subbase. We had creativity, we had Vent Space, we had Passive, we had Woods, fights for these two teams, and good luck, no? Pero kasi hindi nila nakuha yung parang weekly 10 scoreline in a full series yung nakuha dito for veterans. So, execration gets out with a win.
Which is still a nice try para sa kanila, no? Kasi biro mo, nag-top frag si Twintism alongside with EV9. So, for us, that is not bad at all. But let us also see, no, kung ano nga ba yung susunod na laban doon. It is starting Bobby versus Team Stallions, which sobrang hapdi na to, no, Bipolar, especially for Taring Bobby. And despite everything that they tried dito sa mapa ng Angkara ng Subbase, talagang napatunayan ng Team Stallions at napatikim nila kung ano nga ba ang nagagawa ng greatest as so far dito, no, sa ating league.
Yun nga, looking at it, no, bakit kaya nag-Ankara dito yung Tarang Bobby kung saan they also just spam out port, no? I believe it was banned sa ating first stage, first phase ng ating banning. That's why Tarang Bobby was able to pick out Ankara, no? Pero naramdaman nila na, never natin dapat nilalaro ang Ankara up against Stallions because when they're on the BL side, look at this, Mochi. Full on onslaught kahit 2v5 pa yan, napapanalo yan ng Stallions, and looking at it, this is one of the first, or if the first, 0-10 for both sets in a closing series dito sa entire group stage natin. Because I believe may isang time tayo 0-10 as well, pero parang nakahabol ng konti yung isang team, just like coming from Musea. I think it was Virtus.pro ng konti in the second set. So this is the first time, and Stallions, man, they are still hitting shots, no? And I love to see it, no, na Revenge is still in this kind of mindset na parang he is still gonna be unstoppable. Pero one of the players na talagang binigyan natin ng praises dito was JJ actually, because he is sent out with MVPs.
That is true. And I feel like acknowledgeable din yung kahirapan na natamasa dito ng Taring Bobby, all because of the fact na nabawasan ng kanilang aggressive manpower nung naswap ito si JMB alongside with Macray. Pero let's see kung ano naman ang ating last match, no? At paano natapos ang ating araw last week. It is Atras against Fervid, where we were shown na Atras still has a lack, no, na hindi pa nila kaya masyado na tumapat head-to-head, neck and neck dito sa ating mga teams na meron tayo in the league so far, na kalimitan natin nakikita na pumupunta at umaabot ng ating playoffs, which is still a nice try, pero parang medyo nahirapan ata ng matindihan si J. Kim dito at as well as si RTA, Bipolar.
Yun na nga, I mean, J-Kim was still the hope pagdating dito sa ating labanan up against Forbid, pero it really didn't give a lot of like promise pagdating dito sa Forbid because you have Tracifer and the frying all throughout these two sets. No, we get into overtime kung saan isa lang napuntos nun after atras in the first half, tapos after that it was just easy pickings mula dito sa Forbid. I would like to say new compound talagang na-trust na dito ng Forbid. Okay. Kasi they lost the first new compound pick nila before this matchup. Nasabi na, let's try it again. Ipakita natin sa buong mundo kung paano nga ba maglaro ang Forbid sa new compound. And this is the end. There's a lose streak ng Forbid. And now, they are in playoffs contention once again. Pero that's if ipapanalo nila dito yung last two matchups nila. I believe it's a Rosette team plus STS. But let's see further. No, may kita naman natin yung schedule na so on and so forth sa next couple of days. But yeah, amazing for Forbid for bouncing back after lose streak.
Exactly, no? And Forbid, we're being reminded paunti-unti kung sino nga ba talaga sila at ano yung mga kapasidad nila na kaya at pwede pa nilang gawin dito, no? Habang patapos na ang ating group stage. At paalala lang guys, no? Next week will be the last week ng ating group stage, no? So, doon na talaga magkakaalaman kung sino nga ba talaga yung mga teams na makikita natin patungo sa ating playoffs and as well as ang ating seeding. Pero let us see ang ating top 5 place, no? Na talagang nag-highlight kung gaano katindi ito ang mga players na to. And I feel like pwede natin tong simulan kay MVA nung sila ay tumapat against veteran sa mapa ng subbase.
Nga, no, I saw nga sa isang clip sa YouTube na MVA versus Imperial pero in an AK form. Ngayon, gamit na HK on the other side of the map, he just owned veteran, man. Long range angles, 2Ks, 3Ks, almost an ace, or at least an ace, no, for MVA. I believe, actually just 3 kills, no. Pero the powers that it give talagang hindi napagalaw dito ang veteran. Look at this Mochi. One man hold on missile. Tingin sa luwag. Biglang tingin ng sikip na realize niya may bumabaril dito sa may CR with that TRG. Tapos napitas niya pa din or napaback off niya din si Twintism. MVA, man, he's coming back into his peak form. And I feel like that MVA that we saw from the previous years ago, bumabalik na dito sa execution.
Exactly. At ang nakakatakot doon, no, talagang nagdadalawang isip yung mga miyembro ng mga veteran kung susugurin nila kahit mag-isa lang si MVA doon. Ibig sabihin, ganun yung amount na respeto na meron sila against MVA. Pero yung susunod naman sa ating list will be from Tracifer na kamakailan na nakalaban nila ang Atras, and this is in the map of New Compound.
Ito nga, no, I mean, we talked about this, no, this was I believe, the menu silent jump mula dito kay Forbid. Ginagawa ko rin to pero patalikod pero sabi ni Tracifer, uy, tatalunan ko na lang to. I believe this was his one of his 3 kills na jumping jolob sa buong new compound, no? Tapos pinitas niya lang. Imagine that, Mochi. Tracifer realizing that he has 1 HP, doesn't really need to keep on fighting, pero sabi niya, I'm expendable. Nandyan naman yung isa kong player, nandyan naman yung natitirang Forbid, pero I can still deal the damage. Just look at this. Even J-Kim, the man that is on fire pagdating dito sa atras, did not realize what was going on at pinitas-pitas dito ni Tracifer for an immediate parang fire starter pagdating dito sa Forbid. This is one of the earlier rounds no, mula dito sa ating players mula sa Forbid and atras, and Tracifer, man, giving us a show, realizing na meron dun ulit, tumingin na lang siya. Si RG, man, dumbfounded dito sa may midcon natin for the new compound.
Tsaka naaalala mo ba yung Polar nung in-interview natin si Tracifer, sabi nila, nagkanya-kanya lang sila dito sa mapa ng new compound. At kitang-kita naman talaga kung gaano katindi yung individuality ng mga players natin from Forbid. Pero alam mo ba na meron pa tayong susunod from Forbid as well? At ito naman ay galing KD, no? Still, in the map of new compound, nung kalaban nila ang Atras. At, well, I'll let the clip speak for itself.
Yeah, let's talk about it, no, Mochi. Look at this. There is somewhat good spacing mula dito kay Atras, pero parehas kasi silang tumingin dito sa my box on the right side. Tried to clear it out, pero sabi ni D, magpipik na lang ako. Iisa-isahin ko kayo, and without any, like, parang onti lang na rin yan dito. Just from that immediate contact, paglabas dito sa pintuan nila K, pati ni J-Kim, sabi niya, wait lang, I have aim. Yes, hindi ako nagpo-frag out nung previous series namin nung puro kami lose streak, pero in this point in time nung pumapatay na si A7D, sabi ni D, wait lang, ako dapat ang star player dito. I just look at that. Even RTA could not react kasi pati siya patingin pa lang dun sa may pintuan.
Ayun nga eh. Balo mo, patingin ka pa lang, patay ka na kaagad. And
Yes, nasa
there's
death
no,
cam ka na.
diba, no? Tapos wala man lang dun sa dalawang unang napatay niya initially, ang nakatingin sa kanya. Ibig sabihin, ganun kasakto yung timing niya at ganun din ka-concealed yung position niya. So, alam mo, since meron na tayo KD, meron ulit tayo galing KD.
Ibalik natin.
At then ano naman, ibalik natin, di ba? Kasi hindi siya tumitigil eh. And this one is in the map of Ankara naman.
Oh, this was insane no, mula kay di talagang hinayaan niyo lang dito. Sabi niyo, hindi kayo magpupush ng todo. Sige, mamamatay kayo but I can still keep on pushing, no? Sabi nga dito ni I believe this was A7J, di go kill. Just go kill talaga ang ginawa dito ni D. Look at that man, falling from the skies above. D still hits every shot bago siya bumagsak doon. And it was just great plays, no? D was also one of the factors dito sa Ankara despite it going into overtime, I believe. Na parang they really got into that parang fervid form ulit. And that's because of this performance here. Solo push mula dito sa may LB side. Papunta sa hotel, papunta sa second mid. Even atras, they had numbers here from this immediate the first two frags. Pero if D is always online, do you really have an advantage? I think not.
It's very difficult to face up against D, no? And I feel like ganito din yung kaganda, yung flexibility ni D. Kasi pwede siya maging on the support role, pwede din siya umatake ng ganito katindi. Which just shows kung gaano katindi yung naging growth niya, no? All throughout the course of the months na meron tayo dito from phase 1 up to now. And yeah, basically, no? All out wrecking havoc here against the members ng Atras. Unfortunately, hindi man lang sila nagkaroon ng decent na trade-off dito, no? Kasi they're always being caught off guard, which just hurts to see, no, from Atras. And again, kung kanina, meron na tayong dalawa from D, syempre, hindi magtatalo si Dracifer, no? Kung naaalala nyo na meron nagsabi galing sa nakaraan nating hot takes na, alam mo si Dracifer, abay, ayan, pinakitaan kayo ngayon. Sa Ankara pa rin tong highlight niya.
Yun ang sabi dito sa text natin na bakit parang si Dracer binubuhat lang ng mga kabataan. Well, pinakita niya dito na hindi niya na kailangan. Look at this solo aggressive push. No information. Magpupush na lang si T para matapos na ang kabalastugan. Ang mga kabalahura na ginagawa dito ng Atras sa buong EA side. He just pushed and every shot hit. Imagine this, Mochi. Walang information. There's still 1 minute in the clock. Wala pang golden timer na 45 seconds. Nainip na si Dracer sa top A. Pumunta siya ng vents and he got multiple headshots. He entirely one-man stopped itong ating EA push na kinukook up pa lang ng Atras, and that is it, no? Full of fervid highlights tayo dito ngayon, pero kasi granted, no, nakita natin talagang bumalik na talaga ang fervid sa pagiging malakas na.
Exactly. And you do imagine our jaws being on the floor during that moment, no? Na ang dalas magkaroon ng matitinding highlights itong si Dracifer. Pero natake na natin ating individual highlights. What if pag-usapan naman natin ang ating team highlights right now? Ano ba ang meron dyan, Bipolar?
I mean, I believe this is a veteran and execration. It is execrations, off-roll execution in an aggressive and scary way. This is a pick of the play coming in from Mochi. It was a, 3-1-1 setup, I believe. Magpupush sila dito sa luwag, pero look at that map coverage Mochi sa ating minimap. Pushing sa my vents. Nag-clear din ng MR, pero since they had full control, look at this spray down mula sa execration kung saan nag-push si Yotib sa may luwag while Folix was in second mid. There was amazing flashes mula kay MBA and Justin. It was just great execution at the end of the day. Execution, they just overwhelmed itong players natin for veteran. And yung nakakatawa pa dito, ito yung times na nakikita natin si Yotib na hindi nag-TRG. Dumiretso lang siya ng M4A1 at lahat tayo nagtataka bakit hindi nagtiti. And this was also the time I believe na nagti-TRG pa si Folex, no? He was actually far back from these kind of exchanges, pero sabi nila, kaya na yan ni MVA, kaya na yan ni Yotib, kaya na yan ng attackers natin. And what a way to end it, no? Na parang execution just getting better as the day goes by.
Yeah, ito rin yung moment na nag-swap sila ng role ni Paul, no? Si Paul yung nag-TNG.
Yes.
Pero natatawa na lang din tayo, parang hindi nyo dapat ata ginagawa yun, no? Nung sinabi natin sa kanila. But they made the most out of this, no? Nung kalaban nila ang veteran. Definitely showing na off-roll is just scary para dito, no? For them, dala ng kanilang aggression at kung gaano sila katindi, mang-overwhelm ng kanilang mga katapat. And I do think that we have our second one up and ready, and it is is gonna be Team Stallions versus Taring Bobby, no? Wherein this time, they definitely outnumbered every single one of them here by Polar.
Yeah, this is actually insane, no? This was a 2-0 scoreline kung saan STS was just outnumbered but they survived the war using mind games. Big shoutout to Salvatore, no, kung saan nakita mo dito nag-push with the reads mula dito kay KLB, nakapitas sila ng onte, pero it was basically a 3v3 at the end of the day. Pero nakapitas sila ng unti-unti. Look at Lloyd trying to fight it all out. Pero although Lloyd gets traded, he got time para makapag-rotate pa si Kano dito from high mid to get the last remaining players at na-deny pa nga dito yung 3v5 na sana maganda kasi sinimulan ni El Compe. Just look at this Mochi, no? This was the rare times na El Compe actually just pushed out. He spot the C4, even Jangar mula dito. It was a full-on GR attack towards the BL side. Pero since maganda mag-play for picks dito ang ating STS, they played off information one by one and just the map coverage that they got despite them being far apart, sapat na yun para makuha yung gantong kind of engagement. Every pick meant something for STS here despite the disadvantage in the very early of the round. So STS, despite being outnumbered, they still got to win dito sa atin Ankara.
Yeah, and it appears that Taring Bobby learned the hard way to never choose Ankara against Team Stallions as well. But, last but not the least, we have Fervid versus Atras. Kung hindi pa sapat yung individual player highlights natin kanina, abay meron pa tayo dito. But this time, ito yung inaakala na sana ng Atras, no, na may control sila, pero Fervid proved them wrong ASAP.
Yeah, looking at this, no, may kita nyo, bakit nga ba nakahold lang for the first few minutes ang players natin for Forbid sa ating respawn na sa may Arco? Well, eto kasi yon, lulutuin nila yung buong mapa with the signature Dracifer on CA push, tapos kukunin nila dito yung TB, and it again, full-on approach. Inubos ang players natin, iniwan si CRG, which was very hot sa series na to, pero talagang, look at that, Mochi. At the end of the day, what can you do kung pinitas na naman kini Dracifer, one of our fiery red hot players dito sa series na to as well, na just instantly decapitated everyone. Tapos, at the end of that execution, Mochi, wala pang ginawit marami ditong utility ang ating Fervid, so they just had a better post plan. Kahit namatay dito si D, it was information overload kung saan Fervid just had numbers, just had power positions, and CRG forced to fight, but at the end of the day, they give another brutal round para dito sa ating Fervid.
Yeah, at dala ng pagkaubos ng ating mga manpower dito from Atras is also yung pagkaubos ng pagkaisip din ng Atras kung ano pa nga ba yung pwede nilang gawin, because they just continue being questioned, no? Ano nga ba yung susunod nating gagawin? Nadidisorient sila sa sobrang gulo ng Fervid dito and how fast they're playing every single round din dito, no? In both of our maps sa Ankara and as well as New Compound. Well, kung magkakaroon tayo ng katanungan na ano nga ba ang meron sa Fervid, bakit paano sila nanalo ng 2-0? Ito lang yung clip na kailangan natin ipakita sa nagtatanong, no? And this has been already enough para ipakita at ma-prove yung ating point na iyon. So, again, these team highlights, no, little by little, every single week. It's no longer about Team Stallions, no longer about Virtus.pro, no longer about execration, no. There's always something new, and that's also what's scary with the scene right now, no. Nakakahabol na itong ating mga quote-unquote tier 2 teams, no. I don't even know kung matatawag pa nga para natin sila na tier 2 teams. Kaya naman, tignan na natin ang ating updated standings para naman meron kayong ideya kung ano nga ba yung naging resulta ng mga pangyayaring noong last week.
Ito na nga, multiple days and multiple weeks has come to this point kung saan this is what we expected at the end of the day, right? Team Stallions on number 1, Virtus.pro second spot. They did have that first spot for a little bit, pero may kita natin dito nga rin, Execration, Fervid, and ComebackFriends on number 5. Pero, think about it, Matches is still in that journey na they will come back, so they can still claim that number 5 spot. Meanwhile, Acceptance has been a come and go. That's why they're on their 7, and just looking at their win-to-lose ratio, it has been a split, 50-50, but they do have somewhat of a firepower. No, last time nga, nakalaban nila dito ating mga top teams. They instantly got that win without even going to the third map. But Atras, still, only having 6 rounds, 6 matches together with veteran Taring Bobby. Dito, parang gusto ko rin makita to, no? Or at least, put some attention dito para sa ating mga viewers, because these last 3 teams, you might see number 7 na Rosean team after the entire group stage. No? So we still don't know kung ano nga bang ilalahad ng ating mga teams.
Hindi pa natin alam, no? At yun din yung nakakapangamba dito, no? For our 5 to 8 places. Kasi, ang daing pwedeng mangyari at sobrang liit lang ng mga diferensya nila sa isa't isa. And it can entirely change yung course ng ating ruta papuntang playoffs. Pero alam niyo ba, guys, na meron kayong chance na manalo ng 100 e-coins! Wow, right? Pwede yan ano bang pwede nyo gawin dyan? Ang dami. Pwede yung pabili ng ship, pwede yung papalit ng yung mga speed kit, lahat-lahat na, no? And all you have to do is to follow and like ang ating official Crossfire Philippines Facebook and YouTube pages. And be sure to check kung pumili kayo, no? Be sure to check kung ano nga ba yung mga highlights doon na trip nyo. Is it from D? Is it from Dracifer? Is it from NBA? And all you have to do is to share it publicly, no? Para naman makita yan ng ating moderators, and sa caption mo, ilagay mo kung bakit ba deserve nun maging play of the week with the hashtags CFS Master Summer and the hashtag CFS Play of the Week. And syempre, no, pagka napili ka at public yan at na-note ang iyong entry, pwede kang magkaroon ng tsansa ng 100 e-coins. Grabe yung pamigay ni CF Polar.
Yun na nga, no, ang dami nating mga upcoming na mga draws, ang dami nating mga upcoming na pwedeng bilhin. So check out nyo na yan. Or pwede pang change name yun na rin. Tulad ng ginawa namin na Salvatore, shoutout sa'yo, TNG, no, especially kung
Shoutout sa mga change name.
Yeah, shoutout sa mga change name. Pero yun na nga, no, Mochi, again, we also have caster giveaways. So check that out also.
Yes, be sure to check that out. And I do think we will also have quite of an idea na nga kung sino-sino nga ba yung mga maghaharap for today. And here it is. ComebackFriends versus Virtus.pro, Atras versus Execration, and Team Salios versus Matches. At ang malala dito, Bipolar, hindi natitigil ang mga litmus test ng ating mga teams na nakikipagbakbakan sa middle part ng ating standings.
Yeah, ang ganda nga actually ng schedule natin ngayon, Mochi, kasi looking at the first matchup, you have ComebackFriends and Virtus.pro, and ComebackFriends, hindi nila target ang STS, Mochi. Alam mo ba kung sino target dito ni Tetsu pati ng buong ComebackFriends? Virtus.pro. Kasi gusto na malaman kung kaya nga ba nila mag-mid roundings, kaya nga ba nila tapatin itong mga heavy fraggers natin for Virtus.pro, and yung Batras and Execution, that is very, almost close by the way, pero one way to end of the day is tatagos na nga ba ang matches up against STS with their recent roster change, or will it be another Stallions win at the end of the day? But ito na nga, meron tayong first match of the day already, ComebackFriends and Virtus.pro.
True. And I feel like ang labanan naman dito, Bipolar, no, if hindi man sila manalo, is to ensure that they did the most that they can, no, na marami silang routes na nakuha, na hindi lang sweep yung magiging numero natin dito for our series. Pero pag-usapan na rin natin, ano nga ba ang meron dito for ComebackFriends and why sila magkakaroon ng pantapat dito, no, against Virtus.pro. Kasi kahit from last week lang, itong si Bright na usually pang 6-pad lang nila has been able to perform quite well, no, simula na nung sila ay nagkaroon ng laban. Pero again, with all of these players, Bipolar, kasama dito si Aiden, well, seems like ComebackFriends has that type of lifeline.
Yeah, they have it a little bit. No, I would like to say, Bright, again, if you're gonna be playing today, that is gonna be cool. Kasi nakita nga natin dito na ComebackFriends, yes, they have attackers. Yes, they have face front value pagdating dito kay Aiden, kay Aldrin, even come in from Wooz, no? Pero, yun na nga, actually, Wooz will be out. Bright will be playing in.
Wala si Wooz.
Does this mean magti-TRG na si Cetra fully? Or will it be sniper hell para dito sa at least parang walang magsi-sniper dito sa ComebackFriends, no? But Bright, again, talking about this guy, up against the veteran or up against the Rosean teams, he had a way to have big map awareness, Mochi. Yan ang kalakasan ni Bright. And if he goes and lurk up against Virtus.pro, that is a good thing. If he just finds Elvin, if he finds Kellar, it is gonna be great para dito sa ComebackFriends. One thing to also point out, tulad nga na sinabi ko, sabi ni Tetsu, gusto niyang makatapat tong Virtus.pro. Bakit ba, matatanong nyo? It's because he respects the strat line dito ng buong Virtus.pro, especially itong utak ni Kellar, because they have so much to offer. They have so much strat book sa kanilang mga bag, and dun matitesting kung yung alam mo yun, kung formidable IGL din ba si Tetsu, because up against Virtus.pro, one of our so-uncalled upcoming standard pagdating sa Filipino Crossfire, this is the biggest test. Maybe biggest test even after fighting up against Talos, no, para sa Comeback Friends to actually be in that playoff spot. But yeah, last 2 matches para sa kanila. Atras will be their final last. I feel like Virtus.pro, if they win here, they can easily win up against Atras.
That's true, that's true. And kung usapang struktura lang naman din yung tatalakayin natin, no, di sure na rin, no, na Comeback Friends tamang-tama at saktong-sakto na Virtus.pro ang kanilang gustong makatapat dito. And as you have mentioned earlier on, itong tanong natin kay Tetsu, which opponents are you looking forward to most in last week? What can you say to them? Virtus.pro, since they are so mechanical and also strong individually and as a team, which is talagang in line naman talaga sa gustong makuha dito ng Comeback Friends, which is to ensure that their team has structure and mid-rounding and additional stuff that they can throw galing sa kanilang mga playbook at talagang matetest ng maigi si Tetsu dito.
Yeah, this is actually also pretty good, no? Kasi nga, ito yung pinaka problem ng Comeback Friends, that mid-rounding and how they will be attacking together with Tetsu kapag nasa game na sila. And will it affect, lalo na't wala dito si Wooz, wala silang backup player that is gonna be a little bit passive.
True.
Will Bright be the factor para makalaban dito ang Virtus.pro? We don't know yet, pero there is respect mula dito sa Comeback Friends.
Yeah, that is true. I'm just questioning din ano kaya yung mangyayari sa kanila internally now na wala pa rin si Wooz until now,
Yes.
no? And how Bright will be affecting yung processes din natin dito in the team, especially pagka all-out na pressure ang meron dito against Virtus.pro. And speaking of Virtus.pro, let's talk about them, no? Ano nga ba ang meron dito for Virtus.pro as of the current time? Well, all we know, mas nakakatakot sila, bipolar. Especially after all of the recent feats na ginawa dito ni Yobib as well as Dicetra, and even yung MVP title natin from Keller nung isang beses.
Yeah, MVP title for KLR has been at an all-time high in Mochi, and these ratings right now for each individual player has been at the peakest performance. Yes, Elvin 1.08 lang dito, pero kasi if you think about it, recent matches natin for Elvin hasn't really been that explosive. Hindi na masyado nagbabako dito ang Virtus.pro na Elvin, go do something bago kami gumawa ng galaw. It's actually Virtus.pro helping each other and becoming a force. Looking at it, no, KSA, and as well as itong si Elvin nga, using that AK to be the defying odds para sa kanila to have a little bit of advantage just because from the muscle memory itself. Pero Yobib, man, I know I say this a lot off stream na I hate to say it, but Yobib has been at the best peak performance ever. I was a hater before, pero now I am entirely a believer just because Yobib is not just a cocky guy. He is also a player that can easily bring in performance when it is due, and sometimes even more. Looking at it, right, Virtus.pro, one loss pa lang up against Execration, but think about it, that Execration fight was still very, very close. At least parang naging testing point rin din yun para sa Virtus.pro kung makakalaban nga ba nila dito yung STS ng mabilisan o ng mas maayos. Pero man, yung sinabi rin ni Zero to beforehand bago pa mag-start ang ang group stage, bago after nila makalaban yung Atras, na we want to be dominating as well. We are prepared. We are also hungry. Gumagana, Mochi. They are not disappointing anyone who believes in Virtus.pro, and I would like to see them in that number 1 spot. Feeling ko yung trophy may malaki ng chance papunta dito sa mga Oso.
Alam mo, not gonna lie, hindi lang sa kanila, no? Hindi rin ako magtataka if Execration would be there in that conversation. Pero sabi dito, kay Coach 02, ang tanong ay, what will be the preparation for the last week of this Masters? Well, sabi ni Coach, we are officially locked in for our final 3 matches of the season. The stakes are high and we're ready to make a major impact. Impact mentioned, the team is mostly getting ready mentally. And I feel like that is also the core thing, no? Other than having the prowess individually, the mechanicals are on point, and even kung gaano kakapal yung mga pwede lang gawin dito sa mga mapang pinipili nila, no? The mentality is what matters the most. Something na hindi masya-shatter easily, something na hindi maapektuhan ka agad-agad, at something na hindi mo hahayaan na ma-throw away ang isang punto, no, against sa kung sino man ang iyong magiging kalaban. And it appears that Virtus.pro is already indeed locked in and ready.
Yeah, isipin mo, Mochi, no? Ngayon pa lang sila nagsabi na we are actually locked in for our very final matches. Pero from day 1 itself, sabi dito ni 02 as well na they were made to win since day 1. And the belief in that foundation is at an
Grabe.
all-time high, man. Virtus.pro, I can't wait to see this up against ComebackFriends.
I can't wait indeed. Kaya naman, tingnan natin kung sino nga ba ang ating mga players for our head-to-head. It will be Tetsu and as well as Elvin. I know this is quite off-roll, and I know it is quite different, pero paano ba natin mako-correlate to bipolar?
Tenured?
Okay.
Tenured? Mga malikot sa labanan daw ng mga gala, yan yung sabi ni Sneaky.
Pwede.
Tama naman, di ba? Gumagala din ng team si Tetsu dati, so let's think about it. Pero it is still somewhat it is still somewhat same if you think about it. Tetsu and Elvin has that same fire capability or performance capability pagdating dito sa labanan. But the difference is Elvin has help now. Tetsu doesn't. If you think about it, Elvin has Yobib now beside him. KLR in these pushes, so hindi siya mag-isa. Meanwhile, si Tetsu, they will be playing this kind of strat na very individual. One player needs to get one or even two, no? And if Tetsu doesn't get that, and if only he gets information, well, that's not gonna be something na magugustuhan nila. They need to expect, especially itong si Tetsu, with their strat lane right now, na hindi mag-isa dito si Elvin. And that's something to look out later on.
That is indeed true. Especially that VP is already straying away from that dependence din sa mga lurks at pandadaga ni Elvin, no? For quite some time already. Which is just definitely scary. Kaya naman, saan kaya maglalaro itong ating mga teams, no? Malalaman natin yan right now. And if there will be some respect bans present kasi sisimulan nito ng ating mapa and sub-base followed by Eagle Eye and Angkara ang ating magiging decider. No port, no Black Widow, no new compound, and no new Mexico for this one, bipolar.
I would have loved to see port just because may itch lang ako sa port para dito sa ComebackFriends. Pero sub-base, this is crazy, If you think about it, even from the past masters before, Virtus.pro didn't just try to practice or be experts pagdating sa other maps natin like Eagle Eye and Kara. It was also sub-base, Mochi. They were preparing not just for the Filipino scene, pero pagdating na rin sa international stage. And this is such a big slap in the face kapag mapanalo to ng ating ComebackFriends yung Eagle Eye 2.0, no? Kasi I would love to say, walang makakalampas sa GR side ng Virtus.pro to sila pa yung magiging GR side sa ating second half. That is gonna be insane. If they do find Yobib though, which would be something to look at, it might be very nice pagdating dito sa ComebackFriends. Pero Eagle Eye 2.0, especially without Woos, inopen nila Eagle Eye without Woos.
I also have quite a lot of questions din dito, no, sa ating map Vito. The sub-base might either be really good or really bad for CBF kasi syempre, no, alam na VP din yan ever since nung sila pang nagtatapat at nagtutos dito ng Team Stallions, which is formerly Ubek Maniac, and yung sa Eagle Eye natin, we're not even sure about the roles as of the current time na wala si Wuz ngayon, di ba? So that is indeed a lot of questions, lots of bakit ganon dito sa ating map dito right now. But ito nga pala ang ating predictions para sa tapatan natin or unang tapatan natin for today. Once again, CBF versus Virtus.pro at lahat kami ay humahanay dito, no, sa dito pala. Ayan, dito sa kabila. Pretty favor for Virtus.pro. And I feel like that is already quite of an obvious decision here, no, bipolar, after all of the things na sinabi din natin earlier on. I'm also quite curious ano kaya yung sabi dito or sinasabi dito ng ating community. Kasi I'm pretty sure that's also gonna be a bit more skewed dito, no, for Virtus.pro. Makikita din natin yan maya-maya.
Yeah, itong community post natin, no, magbibigay rin ng onting timpla. And there is a lot of powers pagdating dito sa ComebackFriends, no. I would like to say, Bochi, I was almost gonna be putting 2-2. In favor pa rin naman ng Virtus.pro. Siguro nasa isip ko kasi mag-a-Ankara yung dalawang teams na to. Pero hindi eh. So, it's gonna be difficult para dito sa ComebackFriends. Wala tayong 50-50 kind of map. And these maps na nakita natin requires very good execution. Yes, may gano'n ng ComebackFriends, pero isipin nyo palagi, individual players lang to. At the end of the day, you have star performance capabilities, pero dito na talaga matetesting Mochi. If nakapag-prepare nga dito si Tetsu para dito sa ating players for Virtus.pro, well, they might still have a chance para ma-force ang ating decide.
Yeah, that is true, no? Especially na Ewan ko, dahil natin katanungan so anong gagawin nila ngayon na yung 6th man na maglalaro na si Bright. Hindi natin we're not doubting
Wala na
Bright's
ako.
team, no? In all honesty, but ito nga pala ang ating ranking. Singit na lang natin, no? Top 1 is Ramon. Well, staying strong with that 75%. We have Salvatore in 74%. And second, hindi ko inaakalang makikita ko yung sarili ko dyan sa ating top 3. Honestly, with the 73% alongside with Sneak. And we have L on top 5. Bipolar, kakamustahin kita. Anong nangyari at nawala ka sa ating standings at
Mochi,
rankings?
tandaan mo, kapag nanalo ka, panalo din ako. Let's go, Mochi.
Okay, let's go!
Okay lang yan. Angatan mo lang si Sneaky Frog, pati si El. Sino ba yung mga yan? Okay lang yan. Masaya lang din ako na si Dadum, maliwanag at wala na sa top 1.
Wala si Dadum. Shining bright like a diamond nga si Dadum ngayon. Shout out sa'yo. Mamaya magkikita tayo. Pero i-welcome na natin ang ating mga casters para sa tapatan ng Comeback Friends against Virtus.pro. Tawagan na natin sila, Sneaky Frog and as well as Salvatore. Hi! Good afternoon, guys! Ito na naman tayo, no? Parang sobrang rangal natin, no? For today's video. Ano ang ating violent reactions after knowing yung map V2 kanina, Sneaky Frog? Kasi parang andain nating ipo-point out.
Yun nga, no? Yung sub-base natin for map number 1 is either gonna be really good or really bad para dito sa CPF. Kasi yun naman talaga yung, honestly, yun yung naging parang lingo or like the theme for most of yung games natin with CPF na it's either really close and goes into OT or ayun nga, it's gonna be a one-sided shellacking, no? Pero para sa CPF, I'm actually a bit worried para dito sa series ng CPF na to, no? Mochi, and it was evident dito sa predictions ko kasi hindi tugma yung playstyle ng dalawang teams. Obviously, CPF, individual yung kanilang laruan dito sa mapa natin. And it could work in a map like Subbase, pero I'm not so sure if it is gonna work in yung second map natin, kagaya ng Eagle Eye 2.0. And siguro itong CBF, no, they really have to be careful about who they give or anong fight yung kanilang iti-take dito kasi kagaya nga na sinabi ko sa mga prior series ng Virtus.pro, yun nga, you give them an inch and suddenly they have sight. So, yun nga, you really have to be careful what you're giving to VP dito sa mapa na to.
Exactly. And I hope na hindi tayo umabot dun sa point for Comeback Friends na kailangan nila mag-rely sa mga heroic plays ng ilan sa kanilang mga miyembro para lang manalo sa mga rounds natin. Pero how about you, Salvatore?
Honestly, expected ko talaga to, no, na makukuha talaga ng CBF yung subbase. Kasi nga, Virtus.pro has a history of teams na pag hindi ka Team Stallions, if you know subbase, makakapalag pa rin talaga sila. And we all know that kasi nga nakatapat nga nila ang acceptance at nahirapan pa rin ang acceptance at both ends of GRN as well as PL. So, this might be a pocket pick para sa side ng CBF, pero sino ba tayo para makapagsabi na hindi kompleto ang map pool ng Virtus.pro? Syempre, nandiyan talaga ang subbase. Yun nga lang talaga, no, tama nga si Sneaky, yung Eagle Eye pwedeng sumabit dyan yung CBF. Although there is a good amount of experience dyan sila Tetsu at sila Aiden, it's the mere fact na ang usapan talaga kasi ngayon puro firepower na Mochi, no? Yun yung hinahanap natin sa CBF nung mga nakaraang linggo. Pero Virtus.pro umaangat talaga dito pagdating sa lahat ng kategory na pagiging best team.
Exactly. And it appears na here for VP, no? This is just gonna be another day for them, but quite of a big one para kay Comeback Friends. And speaking of Comeback Friends, no? Parang maganda na meron din tayong pagtapat dito. Kung may head-to-head tayo kanina, we can stay itong si Aiden and as well as itong si Yobib, do. Kung kaninong frags kaya ang magmi-mean the most this time around, especially na being the leading fragger on the board here for both of these players, no? Parang matindi ata yung magiging role na ipe-play nila dito sa ating laban bipolar.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the statistics, no, they are the top fraggers pagdating dito sa ating dalawang team. Pero if you think about it in a sense na team base, you have Aiden that is up front. You have Yobib that is back up. So, Yobib will rely on the other players para makakuha ng other frags. Yes, he is capable of not even going for trades, no, actually hitting these shots bago pa mamatay yung kasama niya. Pero Aiden, I feel like he's gonna be having a tough time here pagdating dito sa laban natin up against Yobib. Kasi if these two players meet in contact dito sa, especially on sub-base, pag second bid natin, pag woods fights natin, Yobib might still win these fights. Because Aiden, again, he doesn't have that second player behind him at least. And I would like to also divert the attention ng Onti dito. Yes, these frags will mean a lot dito sa underground teams, but it also requires the players like Elvin and Bright to actually make the the maps easier. Kasi pag gumana yung mga ganun types of players natin, mas madali may kita dito yung Aiden. Mas madali may kita din yung Yobib. So, yes, Aiden and Yobib is gonna be a good fight. But hopefully, Aiden doesn't, falter up against a star player like the Dark Prince.
Parang simplehan natin. Isipin natin nagpapalit tayo ng bumbilya. Laging may nakahawak sa silya sa baba, 'di ba? Just in order to supply that additional support, despite doing that said role na kailangan mong gawin. Pero let us talk about naman dito, Virtus.pro are now Virtus gods. Do you think that this is actually an accurate statement, Sneaky Frog?
Yeah, I think it's probably the most accurate statement that we have seen para sa Virtus.pro, especially going into yung season na to. I feel like, granted, spring was a bit of a hiccup para sa kanila dito, but I feel like we didn't really truly see yung tunay na form dito ng VP. And alam naman natin yan, we've known 0-2, or I personally have known 0-2 for like almost a decade now. And alam ko na he is the type of person to play the long game, especially pag international na yung usapan natin dito, no? So maybe not revealing the cards last season, tapos papakita nila ngayon, that could be, that could be a guaranteed trip, kumbaga, pwede na lang i-stamp yung kanilang visa at this point.
Ooh, really liking that. Pero totoo, Virtus.pro is looking better than ever before, and I feel like that's already quite of an obvious one, even just by basing this sa kung paano sila nagbe-behave in every single map na nakikita natin sila. Also taking advantage of playing with time. Pero ano naman ang meron dito, One voice, 9 victims. After Kellar has been able to rank 4th sa ating KD last week, Salvatore, do you think that he can do the same thing again against ComebackFriends?
Sasabihin ko lang ulit yung sinasabi dito ni Kellar sa buong liga. Pag si Kellar ang nagta-top rank, ibig sabihin, noobs daw ang kalaban Quote him on that one. Mochi, he has been having this amazing stretch talaga, na to the point na hindi lang talaga basta-basta any other team yung nagiging biktima dito, Like Execration with that series, nahirapan din sila ng paunti-unti. Pero Kellar still fragged out, Nung mga sumunod na nalaban with this 4-game winning streak they have, Kellar was also one of the MVPs doon, Mochi. So hindi talaga lalayo tong statement na to. And without the help of Wuz, isa sa mga kinakailangan talaga ng CBF para makantsaw ang isa sa mga kills na mahalaga, Feel like Kellar will now shine, especially in the fragging area, kasi mababawasan ng firepower dito ang CBF. Madadagdagan lalo ang Virtus.pro just based off of confidence. Ang iniisip na lang dito ng CBF, how will they be able to shut down this system na hanggang ngayon indestructible pa rin? Kasi tinamo naman si Kellar for the past 2 weeks of competition, Mochi, he's not stopping in his path of destruction talaga.
And ang nakakatakot din dito, there's a lot of layers that they have to acknowledge para dito sa ComebackFriends bago man talaga nila masira yung sistema that is very being practiced by Virtus.pro every single time, which is just a very difficult task. Not impossible, but very difficult to shatter. Pero mukhang prepared na ata ang ating Rina for today. And it seems like hindi na tayo magpapaligoy pa. Ipapasa na natin ito sa ating mga casters. Total na ilatag na natin ang lahat. Sneaky Frog and as well as Salvatore. Retraka na.
Maraming salamat, Mochi and Bipolar. Sneaky, commercial muna tayo bago tayo dumako ng laban. Ang dami nagpapabate, pero unahan ko na kagad. Shoutout nga pala TNC Production sa ating mga birthday celebrant dyan. Boss Aaron, maraming salamat. Happy birthday nga sa'yo. Nag-belated, Boss Nos. Happy birthday din sa'yo. Boss Tino, shoutout nga pala sa'yo na nanonood ngayon. Balita ko, may binibenta nga siyang na produkto na solid nga naman talaga. Headphones ata yun, hindi ako nagkakamali. Pero yun, Sneaky, tapos na nga ang commercial natin. Tayo dumako na nga sa ating mahalagang usapan, Virtus.pro and CBF. Now, we head into an area, a gray area, Sneaky, para sa side ng CBF. Kung nung nagsimula sila, marami silang nakikitang ilaw. Parang unti-unti na atang dumidilim yung mga paningin dito ng CBF,
For sure, pare. Meron din akong shoutout. Yung shoutout to kay Happy Graduation kay IJNS, pare. Yun nga, yung one of the bigger pages dito ng ating CF men. I think recently lang, 24 hours. So, big congratulations, pare. Sana mas may oras ka na maglaro ng CF. Kasi, yun nga, CBF kind of in the same thing as well as itong si Aiden man. Once he graduates, he's gonna be playing a bit more. Pero, jokes aside nga, pare, I feel like ang hirap sabihin ito, men. Parang labag sa loob ko. Pero I feel like the magic is over para dito sa CBF. Not gonna lie, sadly. Kasi, ayun nga, nandito na tayo sa ating mas mahirap part ng schedule para ka sa kanila dito. And ayun nga, no offense to them, their only significant win dito sa ating group stage was that win up against itong Team Acceptance at the beginning of the season, pare. Pero nung humirap na kasi yung kanilang schedule, they lost against Matches, though. Granted, it was a pretty close match, pero, or they won against Matches. Granted, it was a pretty close match, pero mahina pa sila nung time na yon. So, yun nga, no, the energies are
Dapat
all
is
over the place para sa CBF. But here comes the live comms, pare. First game na agad, wala nang intro.
Wala siya akong missile, teka lang. Ito, missile, mano, metal.
Nagsmoke. Siya.
Siya pa.
26 pa kayo.
Ilag ako, ilag ako.
Bib side yo.
Ben, pre!
Bil na. Ito, sir no.
Hindi nila matungo yung attention, you know. Ben, pasok na nga ba? Di natin alam. Pero nonetheless, Virtus.pro papasok na.
Oh my God, KSA, kita mo ba yun? Nag-long jump siya papuntang A-side, pare, pero namatay din siya eventually. But here comes Elvin. Andito na, magdadaka na ang Rat King. Tinabihan pa dito si Aiden. And Elvin is now holding itong CR natin. Spray down with the AK, pero di kagana kalaban si Aldrin dito. EBR full spray while running. 47 HP para kay Aldrin. Zetra at Yobib nasa loob ng site. Smoke immediately, pero 23 seconds. Yobib with the dank angle as well. Dito sa missile, Aldrin down immediately.
What?
Tetsu has to pick whether or not this is winnable para sa kanya, pare. And it is. USP can immediately take down 2. Pero tignan mo naman yung Virtus.pro. Nagtatago na lang sila dito sa mga kahon. And there is no reason to go for the full peak. Zetra is down.
No time.
At wala nang oras, men.
NT. Para kay Tetsu pe.
Bilis.
Alam mo naman, no, Virtus.pro gumagamit ng gulang talaga dito. At,
Yun!
lawak din na utak. Yun! Dead round! Nothing like a Virtus.pro game na merong kagad DR. Eh, mapaparami pa commercial natin yun, Sneaky. Di ba? Mapaparami ang commercial natin dito. No, pangunahan ko na kagad. Nakalimutan ko, you talked about graduation. Happy graduation. Congratulations nga pala, Miss Alex, no, of TNC Production.
Oy, wow.
Congratulations nga pala sa journey mo, no. So, yun, no. So maraming salamat sa pag-provide nga ng solidong pagbabantay at pag-aalaga sa aming mga talent bago kami magsimula ng broadcast day. So yun lang naman, behalf of everyone here sa mga talent, congratulations nga sa iyo. Going back, no? Ito nga pala, no, Sneaky. Round 1, feeling ko talaga, yung round 1 na yun, dapat ba yun yung mangyari para sa side ng Virtus.pro? Napakabilis na lang kumilos kagad ng Woods, eh, no? Bakit, Sneaky?
Oo, pare. Alam
I-drawing
mo
mo nga
bakit,
sa
Salvi?
amin.
Kasi ganun din yung round 1 ng first game ng VPFV. Yun din ginawa nila, pare.
Alright.
That's exactly what they did as well. It's paano ba sabihin to? It's called appetizer or pakiramdam nga lang ba or kinakapa lang ba dito ng Virtus.pro on what sites or what side of the map you have to take to. And especially kung kayo yung CBF, you're entering itong sub-base with the expectation na okay, babagalan nila tong mapa na to, they're gonna pull a Vasco, dun lang sila sa labas, kagaya din ng Pepe and all that stuff. Pero hindi yun yung nangyari, parang it was a straight up line up papuntang Woods. Elvin, daan ka ng vent and let's see what happens, pare.
Sabi, no, kasi nag-Olympic jumping, eh, no? Wala doon sa luwag, angat papuntang boxes. Tapos parang distraction ata yun, para mabighani sila sa vertical dito ni KSA. Kasi nagulat na lang sila, pang lumabas na si Elvin sa vents. Well played para sa Virtus.pro. Pero hindi dapat sa A lang sila may atake dito, Sneako. Dito naman sila sa may B side. Onting control lang sa may passage. Baka sakaling makagulang nga sila dito, no? Pero napakaraming tao sa shutter, pati na rin sa CR. So yung rotation dyan ng CBF, mabilis-bilis lang din. Elvin pumapasok, entry player ka pala. Aldrin now with the pick as well, gets the double kill. And Aldrin, napakalupit ng control na yon with the triple. ComebackFriends with the defense.
Yan ang caveat dito, no, Salvatore, na pagkalaban mo yung CBF. If you do not take out yung main anchors ng ating depensa, pare, pwedeng mangyari yung ganyan. And this is why we talk about individuals pag pinag-uusapan natin tong CBF. Aldrin navigating his way into a 3K dito sa pag-defend yun ng peace side. Pero Tetsu. Just, kaya mo yan, pre. Huwag mo na i-double jump.
Tetsu, buelo ka. Boost mo, pre.
Ayun na nga, kakabuelo mo, pare. Winolbang ka na dito ni Kellar. And all that noise, I think, na-recognize dito ni Kellar na nahihirapan sila mag-boost dito, pare.
Pre, no? Bakit kaya, no? Sa pinaka-alanganin pwesto pa, naisipan mag-boost dito ni kaibigan, no? Pero Virtus.pro, 2 rounds, they went very aggressive sa Woods, pati na rin sa second mid. Eto na ata yung time na sabi nga nila, pre, hold na lang natin. Very good time. Kellar, another kill Talaga nga naman dumadami ang mga biktima dito ni El Capitan, Yobe, Wallbang, lahat ng patay ng Virtus.pro. Di nila nakikita ang kalaban nila. Naglalaho na lang ang CBF nang di nila inaakala.
Pero Yaba, rounding the corner, pare. Pwede pa kaya to? I mean, Yaba has been known for a fair few clutches, pare. Pero as soon as ma-discover ni Yobib na naandito siya sa woods, he will be dipping his way papunta ka dito sa B-set, or at least for the rest of VP. Yaba, nakita ka dito si Elvin dropping his EBR while he's nervous. Pero yun lang, naiwan yung kanyang EBR sa woods, pare.
Yan.
Ay, ikaw na natin.
3v1, no? Yaba, kalahati pa. 29 on the clock, Stiggy. Magpapa-CR pa siya for sure. So first contact, itong shatter na to. Very impossible para kay Yaba hanggat di pa nga siya pumapasok with little time remaining. There goes the spray. Clearly, Virtus.pro talagang dinaan na lang sa EBR yung pagkapanalo ng round na yun. CBF, tingin ata masyadong madugas yung round na yun.
Yun nga eh. And Virtus.pro, parang this is one of their faster games actually. Pagdating ka dito mapa natin. And I thought, kaya nga na sinabi ko kanina no Salvatore, they would be running the Fei system na, yun nga, medyo mapagal sa simula. They're just trying to see if anyone is going to be pushing itong woods and or itong MR natin for the sake of map control. At dun sila magpupunish, pero hindi man eh. Virtus.pro mismo yung sumasala dito sa map control natin. And the default is looking really good. CBF naman yung medyo passive this time, and they're just trying to overwhelm kung sino man napapasok dito. But it did work last time, no? As long as distracted yung mga VP players sa isang, Yaba or Aiden, siguro pwede mag-pop off si Aldrin, pare.
So ngayon, like, despite popping off of Aldrin, yun yung kinakailangan talaga ng CBF, no? Not really a system na, okay, it's good defense. Dahil nga may isang player na nagbibigay ng lakas para sa team para makuha yung play na yun. That is now the mindset here of CBF. KSA makakalampas doon sa pwesto, doon sa may DR pre. KSA entry, and as well as Elvin. What a split by Virtus.pro! Wala ng depensa ang CBF. Lahat ng mga nasa panlasan na pwesto na huli. Sneaky, 3F and DR. Kinantsaw na naman ng VP.
Yun ang delikado sa ganun na setup no Salvi. So sobrang passive mo, man. You really have no idea or wala kang talagang legit na panlaban dito. So kung sino man magpupush ng LR, kung sino man magpupush ng passage, pare, all you can do is, yun nga, sit and stare dito sa mga angulo natin, men. Pero ganda ng awareness doon ni KSA, no, na hindi na diniretso dito yung 2F. Instead, dumiretso na lang siya doon sa entrance mismo, and he spotted Aldrin in a very bad position. And as soon as that first kill went, pumasok agad yung mga passage players natin, para impressive macro galing sa Virtus.pro.
Definitely, pre, no, as expected from the team na tinatago talaga yung sa base buong taon. Pero pag pinaglaro mo naman talaga, they are just as deadly as getting the strong side of this map. Virtus.pro just knows how to manipulate the position, no? Like to the point na, okay, LR, palaging may tao dyan sa DR, palaging may 3F. There's always space given rather ng CBF dito, no, to force that duel. Kasi alam ng CBF, they have the confidence. Tetsu pa lang, Aiden pa lang, they know that they can fight. But this is Virtus.pro relying on the mind itself, eh. Like, kung kaya nga nilang bigyan ng onting misdirection itong CBF na to, that's an easy guaranteed entry talaga. Tinamuha na pre, lahat ng tao sa CR, kinuha lahat ni Elvin. Nung umentry si KSA, it was a free round. Ngayon, kinuha naman ng Virtus.pro ang split mula sa LR pati sa passage. Lahat naguluhan para sa CBF. They might have to do it again, pero napakalayo ng pwesto nila. Sneaky, tinan mo, 3-1-1 setup, mala execration lang din to.
Yun yan. But can they execute exactly like execration, pare? Yan ang tanong. Virtus.pro sitting and staring, pare. One of the more disciplined games dito ng CBF, no, actually. Salvi, kung napansin mo, walang masyadong nagsasala ng woods, walang masyadong nagsasala dito ng ating MR. We have barely seen any aggression on the side of CBF, and I think this is their attempt to try and see if they can neutralize yung Virtus.pro sa ganitong galawan, pare. Pero tignan mo naman yung VP, since they have pushed back every single player possible. Pabalik nga ng B-side, pwede na lang possibly i-take over itong second mid. Smokes, nades are gonna start to fly. Yaba having to help yung kanyang teammate na si Aiden dito sa may CR position natin, pare. Pero luwag ang target ng Virtus.pro. Zetra, do you have the pre-aim? Papunta nga dito sa metal, pare. Tamang yukulan dito si Bright. Nakakaalis naman in time. KSA fully blinded. He enters the site pero nakaltokan siya agad dito. Good shots galing kay Yaba. And Elvin will be getting Aiden in return. Map control is still going in the way dito ng Virtus.pro. Zetra and Elvin getting to Zetra!
What?
Clutch shot on Aldrin! Grabe ka ng bata ka. Elvin will be spotting the last player and he just sprays the corner. 2 clutch shots galing kay Zetra. And Elvin with his own pair, 4 and 1 Virtus.pro. They are looking really good.
Sino nagsumbong? Kaya Aldrin na manggagaling siya ng luwag pre. Is it because may coverage na si Elvin sa may sikip? Kaya nakapagluwag dito si Zeta? That shot was so good. Lahat ng pag-asa na CBF makuha yung retake na yun for the 3v2. Nawala na talaga, no, Sneaky. Virtus.pro, kahit napakainit ng entry nila, their retake scenario is very calm, no? Parang hindi siya scattered, hindi siya lumalayo sa isa't isa, no? Like, Elvin wanted that space para mauna talaga, no? Just so na maalay niya yung sarili niya kung bahuli siya. Pero nakuha ni Elvin, no? Grabe, man. Virtus.pro with the space taking, with the amount of fights that they are forcing. Grabe, man. Nagugulat na lang ang CBF dito. Okay. Another 3-1-1 Sneaky. B-wall para dito kay Elvin. This is very tainted, no? Para sa side ng CBF kung di nila mababasa to, no? Kasi it is going to be a possible lurk. Hindi to e-entry para nga kay Elvin. Pero yun na nga yung util dump. Namamatahan na nga to ng CBF. Repossession para kay Layaba. Lalabanan nila yung second mid, oh.
Wait, Yaba, nakayukulan dito sa 2-box natin pare. Aiden with the first shot. KSA getting Tetsu. KSA getting Aiden as well. Aldrin could be up next pero KSA will get shot in the head. 2K lang para sa kanya pare. Yobib will get one of his own. So it's a 1-for-1 trade so far. Para dito kay Yobib, pero Zetra, the last one left alive and honestly the most threatening player. Pero si Aldrin na naman stepping up to the plate para dito sa ComebackFriends and it is a 4 and 2. Pero we need to see a bit more galing sa CBF pare. It just seems like itong si Aldrin yung may output dito, men.
Laban talaga nila yung 7. No good read para kay Tetsu and company, you know, to make that play. Binate lang kayo ni KSA kasi si Yobi ba maglilinis gamit ang tambo. Grabe naman, CBF. Thought they had something in the bag, no, Sneaky. Yung cheeky push talaga sa MR para makuha yung warehouse. Kasi yung warehouse na yun, power position yun, pre. To get mid, to get etong woods natin. Oh, Yobib, ang bilis ka agad na nakarating. Parang kanina lang no? Nang gugulo ka sa MR, nandito ka na sa gate. As they take down another one. And CBF, for a team playing the safest side of the map, parang sila pa mismo yung gustong lumaban, but they're not winning.
Yun nga, men, and that is why, pag sinasabi ko, men, you really do give VP an inch dito sa mapa natin. They can go in any site that they want, and they have given more than a mile at this point. Na nakatatlong kills na agad. Na-punish pa si Aiden, and I feel like alam yun ng VP na maghahanap si Aiden dito once they're in a bad position dito sa mapa natin. So they were just in full punish mode in order to get more. And tignan mo naman si Elvin. He's just gonna check kung may tao dito sa CR. The latest bench check! At yung malapit na makaltukan dito si Tetsu. Elvin, can he make it back? Yobib, padaan na nga pabalik ng A-site. Pero hindi makakabalik si Tetsu. Tetsu's worried na may tao dito sa vents. And bumalik ulit si Elvin. The second time around dito sa may vent side natin. Yaba na lang natitira. And ito ngayon sinasabi natin sa Alvi. It seems like the bait and switch is now working para sa Virtus.pro. And with those 2 kills at the start of the round, kahit nga hindi kasama si Aiden dun pare, feeling ko makukuha pa nila yung A-site.
The mind games, no? Parang di mo rin alam talaga kay Tetsu kasi natataranta na rin siya. Missile ba o titingin siya ng vents Yung si Elvin, chinaga niya talaga. Despite being checked doon sa loob nga ng ng vents natin, still went for the push. I'm sensing na CBF has to call for a timeout anytime soon kung di man itong round na itong parating. Siguro yung next round talaga. Pero the bottom line talaga CBF, strong side, forcing fights sa MR, forcing fights sa second mid. Some of the rounds was fairly because meron talagang presensya si Aldrin pati si Aiden, no? If not, they are going to struggle, pre. Ito yun yung hirap dito, no, para sa CBF. Not because they have a system of individuals, pero kasi Welcome back, Crossfire C! Andito pa rin tayo sa ating CFS Masters 2026. Patuloy ang laban ng Virtus.pro at CFPH, pero dahil nga sa ating interruptions, tayo ay babalik sa loob ng subbase with a 5-2 scoreline. No? So, humingi ka po ako ng onting dispensa mula po sa ating mga viewers pagkatapos nga nilang maputulan ng ating viewing experience. Pero makakasiguro nga po kayo na pagbalik nga po natin ng laro, tuloy-tuloy na nga po. Salvatore Sneaky Fag pa rin naman magdadala ng action para nga sa inyo. Nandun na tayo sa part no? Excited na tayo, Sneaky. Ang ganda na ng execute ng Virtus.pro. Tapos, isa sa mga pinakamalakas nilang kalaban na hindi all gamers ang natamungan nila, no? Kuryente.
Kuryente, pare. Seems like yung kidlat tumama sa tamang lugar para dito sa mga tropa natin. Or actually, the wrong place, no? Pero at the same time, I think just to talk about yung nangyari so far dito sa laruan natin. Obviously, Virtus.pro getting whatever they want dito sa mapa natin. And yun nga, no, the only reason why they are losing sa mga ibang rounds dito, Salvatore, was because they could not kill si Aldrin or they could not kill the one anchor in time bago siya mag-highlight play dito sa loob ng mga sites natin. So, Virtus.pro has been doing a lot more baiting dito sa mapa natin, but I feel like we're gonna go straight into the game, pare.
Guys, isa nga ulit na paintulot nga lang po, no, na tayo ay babalik sa ating 5-2 na scoreline regardless ko na po na nangyari na nakaraang round. Ito na nga, no, 1v2 exchange dito sa loob nga na MR. Labang sa tao ang CBF as they make it a 4v2 just like that. Pero tinaman naman yung HP bars nila, Sneaky. Definitely winnable for VP.
Yun nga. Keller, Zetra though, last two left alive. Keller, BDT spotted, needs second mid. And this is a classic CBF move, no, pare. After like a tech or like attack or maybe even a DR, pare, dediretsuhin nila kung ano man parte ng mapa and try to see if they can catch VP off guard. And it's not has been done a lot, no, dito sa mapa na to na nagugulat dito yung Virtus.pro as CBF has had quite a passive defense kumpara sa may nakikita natin as of now. Pero Zetra with an ABR, he has been pretty good with the rifles, no, as of recent, pare. Kailangan niya lang tumama ng ulo dito, but I think Yaba just gonna gain information kung nasan siya men and try to see if he can kill him.
Pasok.
Kita kayo.
Pakanlason no? Pero feeling ko dapat may oras dito sa Zetra para ubusin na lang yung usok no? Pero yun, kita, that's a major HP player down. Yaba, punong-puno pa nga ng buhay kanina. Pero yun, lasog-lasog na nga. Aiden now roaming. I feel like Zetra could get picked off dito kung hindi niya check yung hukay. What a play from Aiden. ComebackFriends, make it a 5-3 game.
Yun nga. Kulat dito yung Virtus.pro, obviously, but I think they will be trying to thwart that at the same time. HCs are gonna fly papunta passage dito, men. And denial at the start of the round. So Virtus.pro nakuha na nila dito yung MR. Only took them about 2 HEs pare, no? So napakadami pa yung nasa belt dito ng Virtus.pro. And this is gonna be another attempt of pushing back the defense back into the sites pare. Pero walang tao sa woods, ha?
SA? Entry? Aiden, nilalaro pa ng onti itong LR nga na to. No, pwede siya ma-overpower with a 2-man entry by KSA and Yobib. Kasama na nga ngayon si Zetra. There's going to be a split once again mula sa passage or even Vince. Kung makakatuloy nga si KLR dito, but Zetra and the rest of the crew parang di natin nalarespetuhin itong smoke na ito. Papasukin na nga nila. Aiden already fully aware. Here comes the pop flash para madinig nga pwesto! Tumatalon-talon si Aiden. At nahuli ng pamalo ni Zetra ang lamok sa loob ng 2F.
Yun nga, ito yung sinasabi ko to sa Albi since walang tao na nasa loob ng woods. Could be the late activation. How the hell did Zetra hit that? Tetsu namatay na nga sa loob ng shutter right through the smoke. Pero Aldrin, nasa loob pa ng site. Kailangan niyang mag-pop off dito once again. Zetra tumitingin dito papuntang 2F. The yards occupied by 2 players, Aldrin. And itong si Yaba, Aldrin has made it on the side. Yobib has spotted him. Good spray galing kay Aldrin. Dire-diretso lang. Pero Yobib magagaling sa likod. Yaba, spray down. Takes out the low HP Yobib. At si KLR na lang natitira dito. El Capitan for the side of Virtus.pro. TR at sight. Ang kanilang mga angulo dito. Bright pre-fired. 1 HP. Yaba catches him running and it's a 5-4 para sa CBF. Virtus.pro. Di in-expect yung flank and hindi in-expect itong si Aldrin na mag-pop off dito, pare.
Alam mo talaga, no, na nawalan ng momentum dito ang Virtus.pro after the tech diff that we had as Virtus.pro just getting picked off. CBF getting the better day despite the position that Virtus.pro has in the post plan. Parang just forget to tumutok na lang talaga sa kalaban. Well, it's definitely given. CBF found a way para mapasa kanila nga kahit papano yung mga sitwasyon na dinala sa atin dito ng VP wherein that was 2 rounds of just pure aggression para sa CBF, no? Like, definitely feel na gusto lang talaga bantayan ni Aiden yung 2F dito, pero that quick position ng CBF para makuha kagad ang site dito for them to find the trades will be something that is on the aggressive side nga naman. So, CBF, 2 rounds, very strong, pero lamang pa rin ang Virtus.pro sa kanilang BL encounter, no? Second half will definitely be nice para sa VP. I feel like CBF needs to step up a little, no? Kasi nga, yung 2 rounds lang yung nakita natin na meron talaga silang iniisip na possible play that could alter itong iniisip ng Virtus.pro. Opposites attract no? Kung gaano nga ba talaga ka-aggressive ang Virtus.pro, CBF sometimes wait for that perfect time. At kung gaano naman ka-aggressive dito ang CBF, Virtus.pro likes to play it beyond the timing as well. So, tayo dadako na nga sa ating second half with some very, very good placement of plays para dito sa dalawang team na to.
Yeah, but you also have to feel for Virtus.pro, no? Siyempre, ang ganda na ng momentum dito sa first half and then everything suddenly stops and nawala bigla yung basa dito ng Virtus.pro on the CBF team. So they will be attempting to do so on the other side of the map, pare. CBF obviously doing their best work pagdating dito na subbase, especially when it comes to BL, pero ano magagawa nito up against a defense like this? Kellar, diretso na agad sa bungad ng ating Vince and possibly will be trying to help kung sino man ng nakabantay dito sa passage, pare. Pero CBF, yun nga, bit more of a default galing sa kanila, man. Just foraying kung may magpupush dito ng Woods and or MR, pare.
Woods. Another 3-1-1 setup din. Virtus.pro-esque. Pero pinakaiba dito, no, the defense of Virtus.pro is very deep, no, sneaky. Napakataas ng pwesto sa luwag. Napakalalim din. Parang pabiwol na. Yung pwesto dito nila Yobib, etc. Tingnan naman na CBF is still waiting for any sort of util na mag-die down talaga. Wala nang flashes, wala nang nades. Kompleto pa rin naman dito ang Virtus.pro. This is threatening para sa CBF kung lalaban nga sila kagad, but they definitely have to wait for that precious time. Kasi nga Virtus.pro still has a whole utility belt na pwede nga nilang gamitin para mahiwalay ang Shatter at DR. Best case scenario, yung Woods mismo, no? Now Tetsu, entry, siya nga lang mag-isa. Siya mahanap dito, and Elvin gonna get taken down. Setra kukuha ng para sa kanya. Setra na amazing crouch peek. Napakabilis nga naman nun. Faster than the speed of light. Grabe nga naman, Setra still alive. Now, Bright na lang natitira. KSA entrying. Makapasok na nga ng Shatter with the easy flick. Man, Virtus.pro quick to react dun sa mga pinagagalaw dito ng CBF.
Yeah, 6-4 and also very well played galing kay Zetra, pare. Just held it down dito sa LR and I was expecting him to die to Tetsu actually, pero yun nga when LR is in danger and your defense is also falling apart habang may player kayo na nasa passage, I mean, that is just second nature para dito kay Zetra, and the fact na he even got 3 in that situation is absolutely crazy. CBF attempting na mag-free split papunta ng B-site natin, 2 on Shutter, 2 on Passage, and 1 on LR. Pero ang ganda ng adaptation dito ng Virtus.pro, no? Hindi na nila sinala masyado yung mga fights dito. Instead, they fought on the side.
Good sa action para na naman dito sa CBF, no? Pero I feel like it's already being read mula pa lang sa kabilang kanto, no, sneaky. No, this is already known information para sa side ng VP. Tanong nga lang kasi CBF, how innovative will they get para makuha tong CR na to? Kasi yung CR na yan, isang magandang high-low yan. Lahat na magro-rotate mula sa Shatter, pwedeng mahuli. So far, CBF has been trying their best para makuha mismo ang Ares. Pero second din nga atake nga nila. Flying Kellar sa naglalakad na Aldrin. Now we'll be getting the kill. Zetra crouch peeking. Kaso kita ang braso in Aldrin popping off once again with an entry.
They're gonna look for somewhere else dito para Yobib. Spray down. Nakita na si Aldrin dito eventually. Yobib still in a very threatening position. Flash through Vince. He misses it. Pero okay lang yan. Bulag kung sino man na nasa harap dito na CR para, pero Tetsu still on the 2F side. KSA looking for another way. Napapasok nga dito. And if he can somehow find si Tetsu, get that bit of pressure dito sa lockers natin, pwede pa yon. But Tetsu staring right at the smoke, anticipating na dito dadaan. Etong si KSA, nakita yung anino na nasa loob na smoke, pero Aiden nakatago na sa passage. Obe, busy checking mo ang hindi. KSA the only one with a kill in this retake so far, and pakiramdam ko min, 14 seconds and 3 opponents staring right at you. This is not a possibility, pare.
Lalo't 4 seconds lang yung allowance mo para mapag-defuse ng bomba. No, PSA did what he can. Masyado lang talaga malakas ang pwesto dito ng CBF. Both passage and shatter being taken care of here by VP, and they have to force that time out. Kinakailangan talaga nila, no, Sneaky, because despite it being sloppy, there was still some rounds na winnable talaga, pero hindi na lang talaga nadaan sa dueling because CBF was just quick to make sure that the map control will be favorable para sa kanila. No? Movement-wise, contest ng second mid, napakaganda. It was proving to be a very good tactic naman ng first half. Napapagawa pa rin naman nila dito sa second. Even nung BL na nga sila, Elvin and Yobib, medyo nagiging questionable nga yung point of contact nga nila because their entries na paminsan-minsan hindi. Like, they want to gain entry dito lang sa may woods. It's kind of dangerous to look at it. Pero Virtus.pro, probably the ego-checking phase ata. Itong laban nga na to is being imminent ngayon. Ang problema ko lang talaga, Virtus.pro, they need to clean up their fights. A lot of fights are being won dito by Cetra, but most of the members ng VP parang hindi na ata ngayon activated dito sa ating second half. Like ComebackFriends at their best is what is very good para talaga sa series na to. Kasi nga, ComebackFriends needs to have that elevated offense laban sa VP. Hindi lang dahil nahihinaan ng loob ang VP. Once na nakapag-activate ng Virtus.pro, there should be that presence for the side of CBF na other than entries, there should also be some macro skill involved dun sa mga ginagawa nila Aldrin.
Yun nga man, and at the same time, I feel like Virtus.pro did need this time out, no? Medyo naging malabo na yung kanilang comms from what I'm seeing. They feel a bit disconnected, no? Right after what happened earlier. So, yun nga, I feel like minute and 30 with the team. Just making sure na, you know, everybody is reminded on what to do dito sa mapa natin, especially para dito kay Yobib at kay KSA, who's gonna be the main point of contact, no? Para sa buong team natin, with Elvin doing that as well from time to time. And ComebackFriends, though, I do expect them to play slightly better dito sa second half nga natin, no, Salvatore, considering dito nanggagaling yung kanilang lakas. This is where they get most of their strength, which is this PL side. And Aldrin just being allowed to make plays like that, no? Kaya napapaisip talaga ako, pare, mamamiss na talaga dito si Woos, because I feel like, ayun nga, no, with him kind of hovering over Aldrin half the time, pare, doon siya nakakuha ng baka mas magandang poses niya. But at the same time, ayun nga, no, Aldrin, what can you do, man? It's Aldrin at the end of the day. Honestly, it's scary how consistent he is, no? Despite yung record dito ng CBF, pare.
Pro aim talaga eh. Pro aim talaga para dito kay Aldrin. And yung lakas lang talaga ni Aldrin dito, no, is just being able to win those fights despite some disadvantages being thrown here by the other members of CBF. Yung problema kasi, pre, if they just get too much, napaka-open mo, it could be a bait, it could be a kill. Problema ko lang dito, definitely, no, for CBF is to just find one consistent execute na matatagalan ng Virtus.pro para basahin talaga. Knowing Virtus.pro, I feel like hindi naman sila magdadwell doon masyado, no? Knowing it is a team that knows everything what it has to offer sa loob nga ng SB, have to play it smart na nga ngayon. So, normal positions na naman, no, Sneaky. Depende na lang talaga may magpapa 3F dito para sa VP. CBF should be wary na yung passage na yun, hindi nga magiging madali. Shutter and second mid kinukuha na ng CBF. They want those fights. I feel like they are aware na ngayon, Sneaky, sa dami ng ingay. May split na magaganap para sa CBF eh.
They're trying to distract si Zetra, or at least try to know where Zetra is in this current time, pare. Kasi yun yung pwede magpasira sa kanilang buong push at this very moment. CBF, I feel like, granted, they need an execute, pare, but more than anything, kailangan nila ng pick dito. And currently, ayun nga, no, the turtle stance galing dito sa side of Virtus.pro, it is really hard to get through, no? So, gagawin na lang siguro dito ng CBF to passage to machine room, and then baka may mag-events, and it will be Yaba or Bright potentially, no? Kaso, tignan mo naman yung belt dito ng CBF kumpara dito sa Virtus.pro. They still have plenty of flashes, plenty of nades. Pampadelay lang dito. And Kellar probably spotted so many players on the outer side. Hindi na i-repick yan para Yobib just assigned to be playing that position. Kellar actually playing anti-flash dito sa shutter, but he walks straight into Tetsu. Good pre-aim galing sa kanya, pero si Bright bulag na bulag. Still gets the headshot on KSA. Pero si Yobib lalaban ng isa. Good taps galing dito kay Aiden. Tetsu getting his own headshot on Zetra as well. And si Elvin na lang natitira. And this is the burst that we are looking for, no? Galing dito sa CPF. A whole lot of distraction dito sa site. And it will be an A-take.
Elvin thought na may madedelay pa dito ang Virtus.pro, but this is just lost cause para kay Rat King. Feel like with the position that CVF has in post plants, kada na nga malabo talaga, no? This is no longer ComebackFriends relying on the individual pop-offs. Tama talaga, no, with the split na iniwan ni Tetsu sa may woods para mahanap ang KLR. Virtus.pro nangarag na nga ngayon to make that defensive play work for the next 4 rounds para makuha na nga nila ang panalo sa SB. Pero gotta give it to them still. Meron pa rin naman talagang dating. It's just that Tetsu and Aiden nagising na lang talaga sa D1 nila to make something work para sa CBF, no? Imagine pa rin 3-1-1 split, nagiging 4-1 pa rin. Magiging 3-1-1 bandang dulo. Di talaga natin maintindihan what CBF is planning to execute, and that is the mysteriousness ng CBF na nagpapaganda nga talaga ng estado nga nila. Yaba, masyado ka na maingay. Here comes the nade.
Oh,
Now na oting bawas na sila kay Yaba. There it is. Yobib now finally shuts him down 5v4.
bit labored, no, pare? But at the same time, an awkward situation na you can't really prevent from happening. Yobib, I think nag 1-2-3 sa utak niya, pare, and probably he already has a certain position pre-aimed. He did hit it to him right. 4 versus 4. Virtus.pro realistically nasa kanila pa yung control ng ating woods, ng ating A site. But KSA trying to play smoker dito sa woods natin, pare. Will just be backing off, but still, Virtus.pro. Sila pa rin yung may hawak dito na mapa natin. CBF still looking for any advantage na makukuha pa nila dito sa 4 versus 4 natin. KSA is head spotted. Pero 50 seconds, not much time para sa CBF na mag-decide dito. I would not be surprised if may sudden pivot papuntang second mid, no? Para makuha man lang nila dito yung CR. It's probably a CR to 8 take if ever they do want to do so. Pero meron din dadaan ng Woods. Very important position para dito kay KSA that he keeps control on his side. No way. No way 3-1 to, pare. I mean, this is kind of expected on the side of CBF. Pero nandito na si KSA. Flashbang is here. USP, di kagana this time para dito kay Bright. KSA with the running spray. Aiden with his own headshot. Pero Skellar, napaisip na rin na baka may dumaan dito ng vents natin. Keller has to be careful about his head. HE para kay Aiden would be nice. And it does land, but it still leaves him on 2 HP. So hindi pa rin patay itong si Aiden. Factor that you still have to think about, the HK417 headshot and Zetra ready and waiting para sa kanyang flashbang. But still, hindi niya napansin na nakakit na si Aiden dito. Tetsu kailangan nila itiretso. Tetsu on 1 HP, Aiden on 1 as well, and very well played. Good patience galing sa Virtus.pro. And honestly, hindi mo mabiblame si Aiden dun, pare. Kasi 2 HP ka na. What other play can you make in that situation? And Zetra, look at that patience as well. Di niya pinapagad, man. He was waiting for his teammates to go all the way to luwag at may flash siya galing CR.
Walang nila pride na magpupush lang si Aiden. Siguro pinaplat na lang sana nila sa CR. It would have been a better position para kay Aiden na laro na nga lang yun. Even denying yung pwesto nga nila sa may luwag, no, for Virtus.pro. Kasi man, with the time, with the defense, tsaka yung mga kaparating na members, no, masyadong mahirap, masyadong malabo. And in turn, Virtus.pro turning things around in the best time possible para kay KLR na makuha yung 3 kills dito, no. 7-6, Virtus.pro still has something that CBF has, which is map advantage talaga, no? Like knowledge, pwesto sa mapa, denying of space, sniper duel. Gagawa naman talaga dito ng Virtus.pro. Meanwhile, CBF relying on entries from Aiden and Aldrin para may mangyari. Tetsu na huli. Sniper down for CBF. Another play talaga ng Virtus.pro na harangan talaga tong Woods na to, knowing it's a vital spot for CBF to make a play. Gawa ng nandoon ng second bid, pati nga yung Vince. Virtus.pro complete shutdown dito sa round na to.
Yeah. Pakiramdam ko sa Albi ganyan maglaro si Yobib dito sa CR, to be specific. Kasi gusto niyang pakiramdaman or at least make the Woods players feel na naandito pa si Keller sa CR. And with him being this aggressive, no, there must be rhyme and reason why. Pero hindi pala, that was all a fate. Pero Yobib, headshot pa rin para sa kanya. Aiden nakaltukan at mamamatay lang rin. Yobib, another soul collected para sa kanya. Elvin, nakita na si Bright na nasa loob ng usok. Yaba will be getting two. Hold on. But you have a flash out na andito na si Keller na may rifle na nakalabas. 8-6, Virtus.pro in a very good spot. And that's a timeout down to CBF. I saw the pan before the timeout, pare, and I already knew CBF, they need a bit of time dito sa mapa natin, pare. Virtus.pro, granted na scramble dito yung Rubik's Cube, no, na itong CBF, pare, pero nasolve naman nila agad.
Feeling ko pre may undermining effect dito yung CBF trying to put a lot of pressure onto Aldrin to make the call for himself and for the team. Kasi minsan nagiging pangalawang boses yun si Aldrin no? Like, he is an info gatherer. Dahil attacker siya, volatile, malami siyang space na nakukuha, there's a lot of information to call. Thing is, gano'n nga ba kaganda yung chemistry ng CBF na when Aldrin is doing something, meron ng kagad presence of mind yung mga kampe niya na gawin din yung pinaka-opposite dun to make it beneficial para dito kay Aldrin. Exactly, pre. Ang hirap talaga because Yobib with that spray dun sa may CR just speaks na, where's the smoke? Where's the flash? Wala talaga, di ba? Like, that was the play that could have canceled CR. Makuha yung si Kep, get the plant, and then CR back again para sa isang malupit na side take. CBF did not bank on just trying to go for triple pushes. Hindi ko lang bakit na nahihigpitan ba sila sa pagpasok ng CR. There is another variation naman sa pagtitriple push eh. Like, you have three quadrants on the map, no? Parang lahat ng yun, pwede mo naman kunin talaga because CBF still has dueling prowess, no? Sometimes, some other ways, nakuha naman nila yung panalo pag it's Virtus.pro, but is it still going to be a pop-off moment for any player para hindi lang basta isa yung makuha nila? Like I mentioned, no, Aiden and Tetsu are really good for 2, Aldrin good for 3 most of the time. Pero nauubos din talaga unti-unti yung mindset dito and mental ng CBF, and Virtus.pro needs to make it happen right here, right now. Kung hindi, every play is going to be readable for VP knowing na those entries na ginagawa nila Aiden kanina. I feel like it's pretty good, no? Despite it being a very tough time para sa CBF.
Ayun nga, pare. It was the right target to do. Dito sa mapa natin, It just so happens na the guy on the other side of the barrel is si Yobib, pare. Kagaya nga na sinabi ko kanina, no, Salvi, I feel like yun nga, yung ginagawa nila dito sa CR, Yobib being a lot more aggressive. Papunta ka ng second mid, and obviously, ma-assume mo na okay, sobrang aggressive ni Yobib, he shouldn't be kasi baka may sniper na nakatutok sa kanya. So, most likely, naandito nga si Keller. And I feel like those small mind games really do stack up dito sa mapa natin. And yun nga, no, pag sinasabi ko to again and again, Virtus.pro, they only need an inch to really go a mile dito sa mapa natin. And those are yung those are the small advantages that you do get, and it kind of stacks up against itong CBF. And CBF, obviously, no, once you are at a disadvantage, alam mo naman yung pattern ng CBF, pare. Pag may disadvantage, biglang maghahanap dito si Aiden ng kill, si Das maghahanap ng kill, si Aldrin maghahanap ng kill, si Tetsu maghahanap ng space, and it kind of just feels like, Virtus.pro, just like what I said, stylistically, dito mahihirapan yung CBF, but they are putting up a hell of a fight, no, pare. It's just that itong Virtus.pro, may mga times talaga yung depensa nila biglang nabubutasan dito because of just a single highlight play.
Yan natin, no? Kasi sa ngayon, marami nang pinapatch up dito ang Virtus.pro, no? In their playbook, despite it being exposed a bit dito ng ComebackFriends, pero parang punong dulo lang ng pahina yung nakikita ng CBF as they are still struggling to make that mid-round adjustment favorable para sa kanila. Post-plant, wala tayo pwedeng iba masabi dyan. They know what they're capable of naman sa post-plant. Pero kasi pinakamaganda doon, pinakamahalaga, honestly, no, Sneaky, is the setup on how you take the site and the setup on how you make the enemy believe na hindi lang ito yung mga papasok talaga. The amount of fakes na binato ng Virtus.pro in the first half, very exemplary. No? Napakaganda nga naman. Kasi nothing is better than 3 players opening up woods, isa magpa-passage, isa mag-EMR, lahat ng yun cut rotation talaga. Not only pwede mong depensahan yung passage player mula sa 2F, you can also defend yung woods mula doon sa passage player. It's that layering na nagpapaganda talaga sa Virtus.pro. And nakita naman natin na it was not that kind of day para sa side ng CBF. Ngayon, CBF, if you're the team na gusto nga talaga makabalik sa laro to, there should be a fine line between playing within Aldrin's strengths and playing within everyone's system in their mind. meron namang bagay na nagbibigay agwat dito sa VP and CBF eh. No? Iba na yung puso, iba na yung talino. Iba pa rin talaga pag may kanya-kanya kayong unique na play na pwede nyo nga gamitin, no? Problema kasi Virtus.pro knows everything at this point, pre. That's why they are one of the best teams dito sa Pilipinas because every move na kaya nga nilang basahin in-game. So, CBF, there's any time para mas palaliman pa nga talaga yung mga pinagagawa nyo to deny any sort of lead for Virtus.pro, this is it. So, if you're not Aldrin, if you're not Yaba, feeling ko, man, you just really need to step up. Kasi nga, the mere fact, the one idea na nakukuha ng CBF sa laban na to is, okay, we can fight. Yun na lang talaga. Gulatin na lang natin sila.
I have barely seen though yung LR pressure strat from the side of CBF where kukunin mo lang dito yung LR and then you just stay there the entire time kinda, you know, putting the pressure on yung mga B players natin at yun nga, iikot na lang galing passage, iikot na lang galing dito ng shooter, potentially from Ben. And yun nga, it kinda just seems like CBF, they are, you know, very aggressive pero hindi sila aggressive sa, you know, pagkuha at pagstay sa mga angulo nga dito pare. So I feel like we need to see more of that from CBF specifically. Pero Aiden, lalabanan dito si Yobib. Will be a bit of action sa second mid and KLR na andito na sa bench pare.
Nice shot, Yobib. Hindi na nga nakabuelo sa may CR pre. Used to be his domain. Pero nahuli na nga ni Yaba. KSA now, still same pwesto lang sa may crab pre. Masyado na kang obvious to imagine KSA coming up with a highlight. Isa lang ang makukuha niya ang ginintuang Corona. Cetra defensive mode. Walang makukuha sa unang boga. Adrian Yaba, napakalalim na sa missile pre. Lahat dumadaan dito sa iskopa ni Cetra. Isa nga nakuha niya dito. No, Tetsu now going for the anti-flank as Keller now wants to make it a play. Pero hindi na nga gagana to for Virtus.pro. It's all down to Elvin and Cetra.
Yun nga, kailangan may magluwag sa kanila dito pare. Ain't no way they are gonna get this from the CR position. Tetsu, ganda ng kanyang position, oh. Sobrang harap na dito sa luwag. So just in case na may smoke or may flash na paparating nga dito galing kay Zetra, that would be bad news. Pero good shot galing kay Zetra. That's an attempt now para sa Virtus.pro. Kailangan din nila bumaba dito pare, Bright. In the middle of nowhere, pero naandito na ang Virtus.pro. Two-man force on the side, headshot para kay Cetra. He has to get the last one. Diffuses here. And sakto si Tetsu. Buti na lang nag-antay ka dito sa metal for that last second diffuse. Nice try galing sa Virtus.pro. Honestly, got farther than expected. Pero CPF pa rin yun.
Min, Cetra, 3 kills. I got my 3. Tas hindi pa rin nila nakuha yung round. And that was not even Cetra giving space for his teammates. No? That was Cetra trying to do his best para mahirapan ng CBM sa post-plant nga nila. Good detail, no? Sneaky na kailangan talaga laliman ni Tetsu yung pwesto sa may luwag. Mahihirapan talaga yung Virtus.pro na laruin yung buong luwag na yun. Kasi nga, there's always that first contact na napakalalim kaagad na malapit na nga siya pumunta ng woods eh. Yeah, Virtus.pro couldn't pull it off. Kaya hinanap na nga nila ngayon ng isa pang mas definitive na play, no? Na, okay, retake, medyo alanganin. KLR, may mauhuli dito. Isang masaganang hapunan pag naani na nga and Bright gets harvested sa bench. KLR with a kill. Pero all that play, pre. CBF papasok pa rin.
Yun lang, insta 8-take though. Galing dito sa CBF, they realize nandito si KLR sa bench so he will be unavailable for the next few seconds. Pero sobrang tagal ng push dito ng CBF. Yobib with the delay. He's already on the bottom side. Yobib nakakuha na ng isa pero hindi nila mapapansin na meron pang nakayuko dito sa gilid. Here comes KSA. They forgot about the second A player. Yaba nasa loob ng smoke pero mamamatay lang rin. Tetsu will be dying as well. And the bait and switch galing sa Virtus.pro. CBF got their ankles broken pare.
But that has to be a play na minanufacture talaga ni Keller eh, no? Kian, huwag ka na aalis dyan using the smoke to the advantage of Virtus.pro. Ginawa ng CBF yun para mapadali nga nila yung lapit nila dun sa loob ng missile. Napasama pa para sa CBF. Yobib finally gets his revenge over to Yaba na kanina pa umuulit sa outer pre. Pero nagtigas na natin ang ulo dito. Sila Aldrin at Aiden gusto ulit magpa-second mid. Sobra-sobra na yung tinatanggap nila dito, Sneaky. Virtus.pro still healthy. Meanwhile, CBF duguan.
And Bright, second mid push. incoming para dito sa CBF. Pero rough na kasi ito. Meron na nakatutok dito na pangalan ni Keller. It's a headshot dito kay Bright Yobib. Gustong yumuko, gustong tumalon, gustong pamatay dito kay Aldrin. And the blind spray finally hits itong si Aiden and Tetsu, the only one left alive. And the belief is at an all-time low para dito sa kanyang 1 versus 5 pare, unless it's one of those rounds para kay Tetsu. Getting itong si Zetra. And it would be pretty wild kung makuha niya nga itong 1 versus 4 pare, but this requires the entire VP squad to be peeking into him. Pero sinabi na dito ng VP, okay, nakuha niya na si Zetra pare. We shall back off. We shall be playing itong CR position habang may nagpo-push dito sa likod.
Imagine.
Check left, check right. Tama ba, Kellar? Andito sa gilid. Uy, hindi mo chinek all the way, Tetsu! Nako po! And Virtus.pro with a 10-7 win dito sa sub-base. A really good recovery after yung nangyari nga kanina pare. And that's actually a really good sign, Salvi. Para nga dito sa Virtus.pro kasi eto as much as y'all will get mad about what happened earlier, this is also a test para sa Virtus.pro if they can recover from stuff like this. Kasi I'm not gonna lie, ayun nga no, hindi exclusive in dead round, hindi exclusive in technical issues pagdating dito sa ating PH Masters. It also happens in events like EWC and itong CFS 2026. And I feel like they need to have those kinds of games na sobrang ganda na ng round yun tapos na-disrupt bigla. Because emotionally kasi if this was 2025, 2024 Virtus.pro pare, magbe-breakdown mga yan. They won't know what to do dun sa sitwasyon na yun. Maybe sa 2025, sa tail end pare, malalaman nila kasi they did get fourth dun sa CFS. Pero they need these types of games para mas maging solid yung kanilang disiplina at mas maging solid yung kanilang mental pare. And it's a really good recovery men galing sa kanila kasi ayun nga no, I feel like last year or last year's VP SGJ will be bothered by that a lot no. Pero yun nga men, sinabi lang nila let's just not mind it, we have a better sub base and lalaruin na lang natin laro natin pare.
And not just a W game para dito sa Virtus.pro, no? W mental din para nga sa kanila. Kasi kung ako pre, if I got vetoed my own round na 5-4 pa yung half, very much tilted talaga ako doon. But Virtus.pro kept it calm sa loob nga ng second half, played their own game, utilized what they have in Cetra, at talagang gamitin ni Keller yung utak niya 100% fully, no? To counteract itong CBF position inside of sub-basement. Isipin mo, ilang beses nilang gusto kunin yung Woods, hindi nga napagbibigyan ng Virtus.pro. Kahit makalapit nga sila na missile, hirap pa rin naman sila kay KSA and kay Cetra. Every setup, meron talaga ang Virtus.pro. Hindi na nga nila kailangan maglaro ng B-retake kasi wala namang ginagawa doon ang CBF when it comes to presence talaga. Kasi kung may pumasok man doon, nandun si Elvin for the lurk. So every passage take na pwedeng kunin ng CBF, theoretically, meron sila magagawa doon because Kellar and Elvin is still sitting on every part of the map. So Virtus.pro had already the game won the moment na pumasok sila ng second half just because of mind games talaga. This is what separates a team of friends from a team of gods talaga, no? So Virtus.pro just needs to know what the gist is. Yun lang talaga pre, no? Rough image lang talaga ng kalaban, eh. Gets na nga nila kagad. This is why this is the core, this is the team that got all gamers to 5 games. Yun yung iniisip dito ng CBF na if this is going to be really hard, pre, padaliin na lang natin yung buhay natin. They wanted the easy way out, aggressive pushes sa may second mid, and missile can only get you so far. Pero Virtus.pro, sila talaga nanalo ng foot race na to. Well played for the VP squad.
Yun nga no, nakakapagtaka lang talaga pare for the side of CBF especially na there was barely any pressure put dito sa LR natin or dito sa may B-sides in general, no? I feel like one of the strengths dito ng CBF is the way that they play the game fast and the way that they can pressure yung mga napaka-importanting sides sa mapa natin na napakaaga, no? Pero dahil nga Virtus.pro yung kanilang kalaban, I feel like they had a premeditated na game plan papasok ng game. And it did work for some of the rounds, but unfortunately, Virtus.pro and itong si Keller, man, that brain is working 24/7 at kaya na mag-freestyle pare.
Kailangan natin na babawi, no? CBF, meron pa kayong eagle eye na makikita dito, no? The playoff hopes, medyo nagdi-dwindle down na as Virtus.pro is claiming for that number 1 spot. Tinanong nga natin ano masasabi ng ating panel dyan, no? Mochi and Bipolar, after all that action, ano bang masasabi nyo?
Maraming salamat Salvatore and as well as Sneaky Frog. Pero ang masasabi ko lang dito, no, ang pinakamalalang kalaban ay ang sarili mo, no, Bipolar. We already reiterated the importance of mentality and it's nice that Virtus.pro has been able to at least push through for this one, but for Comeback Friends, I cannot say the same.
Yun na nga, no, Mochi. Medyo nagkagulo lang tayo dito kasi parang what can friends do up against a family of bears? And think about it, no? A family of bears is called a slot, pero they did not play very, very slow. They played right in front of the bases dito ng CBF. And especially dito sa second half, nakita natin kung gaano nga ba kalakas ang ating Virtus.pro. Yes, there was some technical issues before, pero parang nagising dito ang Virtus.pro na sa base, despite this being in the map dito ng comeback friends, pinakita nila yung international powers dito. Imagine man, you have a 2-on-2 setup. There's 2 players on A, there's 1 player dito may CR, 2 players on B, wherein Yobib only sole players sa CR. Minsan nga, di pa pupunta din sa shuttle yung players natin on B side, and he always gets 2 kills. There's also that point na sinabi ng ating mga casters na once there's a player here, iisipin ng CBF na mayroon pang katabi doon. Pero, in the grandest scheme of things, wala. It's just CBF really. I'm trying to poke the bears, no? Pero, it's always like a domino effect na sige, papasok ka dito, pero you still have to clear every angle afterwards. On the BL side as well, mula dito sa Virtus.pro, Cetra just out-fragging itong si Tetsu in the sniper battle. And just like this, no, Comeback Friends, we saw them to be very individual. We saw them to be looking at individual players in terms of popping off. In that reliancy, sa ganon, up against a team that is in this kind of caliber, that is top tier, you cannot really do that. Aldrin, just like what Snakey Frog has said, he is missing that who's na he can go in, pero there's always that comeback, or at least that read from the long range angle, or at least that coverage, no, na hindi siya matatakot na mag-push kasi meron pa rin naman siyang kasama kahit na malayo, and that's moves. Bright was still good at the end of the day, na tinapatan niya dito yung ating players mula sa Virtus.pro, pero man, it was not enough. Talagang hindi ito yung Comeback Friends na alam natin. Yes, you might see 7-10 scoreline, no, pero Virtus.pro, man, you have multiple players that has a 70% rating. You have Yobib in a 19 kill, 14 death KDA ratio pagdating sa sub-base na kung saan he was almost a solo player. He was banking on just hitting headshots and hitting these shots on the GR side solely from himself. And imagine that. Comeback Friends, kahit na mag-isa dito si Yobib, hindi nila mapitas yan ng libreng-libre. If they do, again, you have the rest of Virtus.pro to look at. And man, kahit na si Cetra dito, 13 kills and 10 deaths lang, nakita mo naman, Mochi. Those kills, those 13 kills, weren't just kills. It was impactful kills para di makapasok ang Comeback Friends or mawalan sila ng pag-asa dito sa Suffix.
And this definitely exemplifies yung point na there is a lot of layers here for Virtus.pro, and yung mga layers na yon nagre-regenerate, no, bipolar, which just makes it all the more harder para dito for Comeback Friends. Pero ito nga ang ating MVP, binanggit mo na rin kanina, nakita na rin natin kanina, etc., being able to take that 1.30 KD and 77.30% na ating rating, just multi-kills, one sniper shot, and then a USP, no, regardless, is fine for him at certain occasions with the court as well, no? Cetra, well, I feel like no one is already surprised at this one, pero parang ang saya talaga panoorin, no? Every single time na meron tayong mga nakukuha highlights para at galing sa kanya. For Comeback Friends, I wonder ano kaya mangyayari sa ating second map. This is all the more merrier for Virtus.pro to actually do whatever they do best, lalong-lalo na nakapag-recover na sila mentally dito, no, after this fight here sa ating unang mapa. And I just hope Comeback Friends, very good farewell and good luck, no, para as a bridge papunta sa ating second map. Natapos na ang ating sub-base at titingnan natin kung magkakaroon pa ba ng kasagutan. This also begs the question, well, do you think na si Woods ay kinakailangan para lang mas maging malapit pa ang ating labanan? Well, let us see. Tingnan natin kung masisemento na nga ang ating naratibo maya-maya sa oras na tayo magbalik para sa ating mapa ng Eagle Eye. Welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, and everything in between. Nandito pa rin tayo sa ating unang match for today. We're in earlier on. Comeback Friends lost against Virtus.pro. Hardly dahil dito sa ating mapa ng sub-base, no? And despite the mental battles na nag-occur dito for Virtus.pro, dala ng isang technicality, no? At least nabalik nila yon sa kanilang mga kamay. Ang tanong ay nandito pa rin kaya ang Comeback Friends, at meron nga bang comeback para dito sa mapa ng Eagle Eye? And also, Bipolar, do you think that Woods is a really, really important asset dito for Comeback Friends na hindi ma-utilize nila this time around, given na si Bright ang nandito ngayon?
Of course, I mean, I would like to say Bright is a formidable player, pero kasi if you put Wooz in this position na you have a Soul Sniper and Tetsu can just freely think about the strat line and just use HKs and just have immediate fights, mas madali para sa kanila. Plus ngayon, mas mahirapan si Tetsu Mochi. He'll be looking at strat lines dito sa GR, sa BL side nila at the first start, and they'll be going up against not just Cetra anymore, but Yobib as well on the TRG. We might also see a Keller on the TRG. Sometimes he uses that pag namatay agad dito si Yobib. And think about it, Mochi, we also saw ComebackFriends now having to use Tetsu as the Soul Sniper now. Kasi mostly in the group stage natin, there's an argument that can be said, mas nasanay siya dito ng ating rifles lang, no? Pero kasi he was a sniper before, but he needs to step up now because hindi lang to mapa na sa base, he's not just up against 2 players na can wield the TRG, it's the map of Eagle Eye. Eagle Eye, it's so open, and whoever who flies up here, well, it's either 2-0 or 1-1.
Exactly. Given na parang glorified ang Kara na mas magulo pa itong Eagle Eye ngayon. Kaya naman, paguluin pa natin ito lalo. Welcome na natin ng ating mga casters, Salvatore and Sneaky Frog. Take it away.
Maraming salamat dyan sa ating panel, good and valid points sa role assignment talaga dito, ni Tetsu. Pero feeling ko yung pagduduel siguro ng CBF doon, kailangan na nga nilang isang tabi kasi meron na kang mas malakas na kalaban dito, which is definitely Virtus.pro inside of Eagle Eye. More duels inside of Eagle Eye nakikita natin for Virtus.pro, pero na lang dun sa mga ibang teams na relying on like the mid-round adjustment bago talaga sila makakuha ng picks. Pero Virtus.pro is just making it so na every single Eagle Eye experience ng kalaban, di talaga ganun magiging madali. Feeling ko yun yung advantage ng VP, CBF knows how to duel, pero kaya nga ba nilang ilugar sa inside of Eagle Eye, Sneaky?
Yun yan. It's actually a really good point, para dito kay Polar na Tetsu will be needing to step up to the plate, especially knowing his job will be twice as hard dito sa Eagle Eye 2.0 kasi yun nga, GR yung simula dito ng Virtus.pro, and obviously naman Yobib will be rocking that secondary sniper dito sa top A, So, yun nga, you have to take out the sniper sa B and sa A at the same time, and that's a lot of responsibility for Tetsu, who is also calling dito sa mapa natin para sa CPF. Pero last time naman na napunta dito yung CBF sa ating mapa, actually didn't go too well, pero there was some really good rounds para sa kanila, pare. And ito yung kailangan i-avoid ng Virtus.pro. Being disconnected sa body mo, pare, kasi ayun nga, there will be a 3-man, 4-man rush going towards you, man.
Pinpoan ko.
Itash. Okay.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Wala.
So sa kabila, baka patayin to, Bin.
Sniper yan, boy. Ingat ka.
Makuha kanan.
Walang kita yung tatalo ng bypass.
Oo nga, nandito nga ako.
Sige. Patay isa.
Patay isa.
Sumilip yun. Hindi, susugod talaga.
That's a lot of assumptions, Sneaky? Nakatingin ng tower, naka-sniper yun, may tumatalon ng bypass, babantayan. CBF and Virtus.pro already, The chess pieces are moving in, Sneaky.
Yung sinasabi ko to, Salvi, the double sniper dito sa A site, pero Tetsu medyo sumala sa metal box. KSA will be down, and I think that is the attempt para i-retake yung A-long dito, or at least try to see if they can gain some space dito sa doghouse. And Tetsu will be eliminating that idea immediately, pare. Pero ano na nga ang hawak dito ng Virtus.pro? Someone has to at least be in an aggressive position to get someone back, pare, and I think Keller will be the one to do it. Pero nakatingin min Nakatingin si Yaba he's aware.
LB still in control, Tinan mo naman,
Or is he?
discipline of Virtus.pro. Ayaw pa rin nilang umalis sa kanya-kanyang pwesto. They still want to play this for the individual play. What an adjustment by Cetra. And there goes the double Arctic setup ng Virtus.pro na pumapaldo nga sila. No clearing whatsoever. First rule of FPS. Check your corners. Aldrin and Yaba. Kellar popping up sa door mid. Aiden now trying to go for the trade. Pero si Kellar tinuturo saan tatama. And a triple kill for Virtus.pro's in-game leader. Yan ang panimula ng VP.
Yan ang asim, pare. Tamang upo lang dito sa mid and waiting for the inevitable galing dito sa CBF, and Virtus.pro, despite losing their initial member na si KSA, na binawian naman dito si Tetsu. They still got the site handled, pare. Ito yung sinasabi natin, Salvatore, that double sniper Woos would be so good right now para dito sa CPF, considering he knows all the angles dito sa ating Eagle Eye. Pero si Aiden gusto niya pilitin tong A site. This is quote-unquote lurk, pare, pero aggressive to,
Too deep, pre. Masyadong Delikado para
Check
kay
it.
Aiden nga to. Knowing na KSA could get timing here. Sa
Chinek.
mga titingin. And KSA chinek. In-x-ray niya si Aiden. Pret, kita-kita sa CT scan. Wala ng bungo. Si Aiden. KSA na on defense mode. Nakita na nga si Aldrin nilalaro ang metal. Yaba now trying to add some reinforcement dito para sa nag-iisang KSA si Yobib. Acting as a second layer sa may exit pre. Nakita na nga KSA hindi makakapanlason now. Yobib with the reposition. Yaba with the kill. 4v3 tayo.
Whoa, Yopi peeking a bit too far dito sa A-site natin pare, and I got a gut feeling that that was definitely not the call galing dito sa VP, knowing si Kellar nandito pa sa mid. But I think it's their attempt to try and get some information kung saan nga papunta yung push na to galing sa CBF. Kellar in a bad spot but still gets away in time, papunta dito sa house. Right, trying to enter, makuha niya headshot dito kay Kellar. Meron pa isang player na naan dito sa big box. Elvin trying to live but he will die eventually. Zetra naman na magagaling sa likod. Crouch peek, sakto ang aim dito ni Tetsu. And VP with some rare overextensions galing sa kanila pare. Hindi ko na-expect yun galing kay Yobib na dun siya sa sala pare.
Doon sa part na Virtus.pro, you had to do is just play around the site no? KSA wanted more kills. Yobib getting caught. Very uncalled for para sa VP na yun nga yung mangyari, no? It does not resemble the Virtus.pro of old na pag may nakuha ng picks, back off talaga kagad, parang Team Liquid lang pre. Pero Virtus.pro wanted to activate, trying to test kung nga ba kalayo na mararating ng CBF. Pag sila naman ngayon ang naging aggressive na Bright, opens it up with a double kill. Tumatama na nga dito ang mga panama ni Bright. Now to make it a 5v3, Aiden, quick adjustment to get the headshot over to KLR. 5v2, Cetra trying to clean it up. It's now another duo effort para kay Elvin at Cetra. Ang dalawang palagi natitira sa round to make it happen for VP.
It's a house lineup I think. Galing dito kay Zetra pare, pero si Elvin still has a lot of clearing to do. Good save galing kay Zetra. Yabang will be going down. 18 seconds left. Not much time to operate pare, but with the TRG in the hands of Zetra, anything is definitely possible. Pero dahil nga sa push ni Elvin, headshot agad from the backside. Tatakbo niya kaya to papuntang A-site. Aldrin instead will be going for the full cleanup. CBF going slightly faster dito sa A-site, and VP not expecting the pace dito sa Alvi, and nasagasaan lang dito si KSA and itong si Yobib. So might be high time for VP to play slightly more forward dito pare. Ooh.
And not really the case na pangit yung setup ng Virtus.pro. They're just losing the fights. And the overextension ng CBF, kailangan talaga nila gawin yun no? For the space. And for a player like Bright to be able to pop off in a round like that, mapapaisip ko talaga ni Virtus.pro really has the mind necessary para madepensahan nga nila yung LA. Siyempre, pag nakuha mo yung bunker, you already have the vantage point sa mga manggagaling na exit at lane. The mere idea of CBF being able to get that space, definitely nagugulat doon ng Virtus.pro. Sabi mo nga, nagugulat sila sa pacing, kaya gumagawa na ng sariling buwelo dito ang Virtus.pro to try and force these fights nang hindi nga na nasa loob nga ng site. Aldrin, off-cam kill laban dito kay Elvin. Aldrin nilalabanan pa rin. Sakaling may mga mag-repick sa loob nga ng hotel. Cetra still playing itong LB side natin. Problem is, no one wants to budge. They know the threat.
Kita ba yung ginawa doon ni Zetra, no? As soon as namatay dito si Elvin, he immediately looked towards your monitor dito ni Elvin to try and see if he can gain information. Galing nga dito sa baba ng hotel. With a minute and 10, still so much time to decide para dito sa CBF. Hindi pa naman tayo nag-a-approach dito ng red time or 30 seconds. And para naman dito sa Virtus.pro, kalmado lang men. No reason to push forward, especially considering sila yung may one-man advantage sa sitwasyon na to thanks to the opening pick dito ni Zetra sa long and Yamba dying as well. Pero, what is gonna be the key for this one to work? LR peeking mid. One tap galing kay Aldrin, pero Zetra, napatay na agad si Bright. Zetra now aware that there is a player on the double door side, pero Tetsu holding the angle. Finally taking down the sniper dito ng Virtus.pro. It's a 2 versus 2. Pero alam nila kung saan magagani si Aldrin. Aldrin still coming in from the mid side, and they're trying to see kung kaya nilang madaliin dito si Tetsu. Tetsu, pressure zone para sa kanya dito sa may ramp side, pero nagde-delay lang siya dito for the sake of Aldrin. Aldrin from the behind has gotten one. Kailangan nilang mapatay dito si Aiden pare, pero si Aiden, or si Tetsu rather, napakakulit dito sa 2F. He's just living the entire time. Yobib finally spotting him. 20 seconds. Plenty of time. Aldrin magpipeak. Yobib, USB, TRG. Mukhang kailangan mo ng USP sa sitwasyon na yan pare. Nagkulang siya ng bala. And it's a 3-1 CBF on the PL side. Nagta-take advantage sila, pare.
Well played, Tetsu and Aldrin, no? That cat and mouse chase talaga. Yobib not sticking. He knows there is a struggle para i-stick yung defuse na yon. And Aldrin prayed to Hail Mary talaga. Hindi talaga tumama dito yung pambaboga ni Yobib. Elvin now pushing it. Napakagandang flash indeed. 6 HP. Get the headshot. Still gets the kill. Aldrin not trying. Iniswingan lang talaga dito, no? Hoping na mathrow up yung angle dito ni Elvin. Now, Kellar, paano nakalampas to? Nang hindi alam ni Tetsu, he's hard scoping. He might go for the discipline play para mas marami pang makuha dito. Bright na, gonna get picked off. And now, Tetsu fully aware. Nakapag-flick pa rin si Tetsu. Still a 4v2 sneaky. All that, mahirapan pa rin ng CBF dito.
Yun nga, feeling ko si Elvin, he will have a perma green light on this one. 6 HP ka na, pare. Might as well labanan mo na dito yung sniper. Quick scope galing kay Tetsu. Another one is gonna miss and Elvin's gonna win that skirmish. And Aiden, last one left alive. Kita na yung anino mo sa smoke, pare. 3-2. Virtus.pro back in the fray dito sa laruan natin. And CBF, ayun nga, they were left confused sa hotel, pare. Ang ganda ng opening fight dito ng Virtus.pro. And Kellar throughout that whole chaos, pare, nakalagpas na nga siya dito sa ating defense at the start of the round at least para dito sa CBF.
Imagine, pre, no, kung nakuha pa ni KLR yun. Feel like, di naman kailangan ni KLR, but it would be another style point para makuha ng Virtus.pro yung round. Still, glaring lead pa rin meron dito ang CBS Virtus.pro.
I don't like this A setup.
Medyo nakaaning sila sa GR ata nila, no, sneaky. Feel like Virtus.pro is still pushing this idea of forcing these fights early para mawalan ng pwesto kagad ng CBF for a possible entry, no? Kulang-kulang yung mga tao, kulang yung binde, less mouths to feed, no? Parang yung iniisip dito ng VP, pero they're not playing within their strengths, no? Like, kung kaya mo hawakan yung HM, feel like that's already a good spot, pero kung yung Arctic nyo, kayang bumuga ng kahit sino na magka-crosspot ng hotel, o kaya na LB, feel like Cetrop could be able to do that, pero man, Virtus.pro still. Habang hindi pa nasisira, no? Habang nakakuha pa rin sila ng rounds, gagawin pa rin talaga nila yun.
Setro, you bad lad. Nakita ko, pare. He just wide swung kung sino man na sniper na naandito sa long and somehow forced the miss dito kay Tetsu. And second mid will be the way to go para sa kanya, pare. There will be 2 additional rifles to help him in this defense. Papunta nga dito ng B-site. 50 seconds left on the clock and pakiramdam ko CBF na mag-aantay pero si Tetsu will be regretting that impatience papuntang second mid. Zetra will be taking him out. Yaba trying to look for the late lurk pero meron nang nakabantay na KSA sa mid and I think they're fully well aware na laging may gusto mag-flank para sa CBF. KSA na lugi siya dun sa angle na yun para in terms of the wall bang but still 1 HP dito kay Yaba. The EBR wins that time. 4 versus 4 pero kay Elvin, does he have to do this? Bright will be taking him out. 3 versus 4. Information in the way ng VP pero walang nakakapatay sa kanila dito. And it will be Aiden on the house side. Good shot galing kay Zetra pero pabalik sila ng B, pare. Kellar, the captain, can he do anything about this? Bright nakadaan na. Bright spray down. Aldrin nakaltukan. Kellar with the 2K. And with only 2 seconds left, Yaba too far from the C4. Nakuha na si Yobib pero hindi niya makukuha ang round.
Grabe, men. One motion na naman para kay Cetra. Feeling ko nasumbong na siya dun sa may bunker Pero the moment na nag-swing kagad si Cetra, he finds Aiden. And every hope para makuha ng CBF yung round from the lurk of Aiden was all lost. Aldrin, amazing flick. Mawala na kayong bar player dito. No, KSA also gonna get the kill with Cetra. Another follow-up. Iwan ang C4 sa garahe. Yaba parating pa lang, trying to clean up the mess. Pero pa sa ganitong sitwasyon, sa ganitong klaseng pwesto, malakas na kagad ang Virtus.pro. Advantage alone ang pinush dito ni KSA.
Yeah, KSA has been testing yung long na to, no, from time to time and he has been punished multiple times over it, pare. But the one time na hindi tumingin itong CBF, dun pa siya sumala ng dalawa. And the C4 being down just canceled the entire push ng CBF na papunta nga dito sa B-site but then they have recovered it. Bright and Yaba, the last 2 left alive pero 4 versus 2 ang sitwasyon, pare, and Keller has been really good with this EBR the entire time. Let's see what happens.
Yaba. Do have a full load of HP, no? Sneaky. Still a tough task para sa dalawang players ka na to. No, Bright, amazing angle. Huli ang full HP na KLR. Yaba. Could be making it sa loob nga ng cable, no? Yobib. Hinahanap na nga yung duel, but he needs to be patient, pre. Habang hindi pa nakatanim ng C4, there's still some leeway para kay Yobib na mag-reposition. Feeling ko,
Feels like
si Cetra yung pwede magpanimala na ito, no? Napakaganda ng clearing ng CBF, pre. Hindi sila nagpapakagat nga kagad to make the post plant happen. Kasi alam nila na pwede mag-collapse dito ang Virtus.pro. Na tatlo nga sila magkasama-sama. Cetra now spots etong si Yaba na nasa loob nga ng RS. All the idea in the world for Virtus.pro to now play the side take. Di pa rin sila makapagtanim. Nahuli si Cetra. Not on his primary weapon. At naging 2v2 pa talaga. Napasama pa sa VP.
And yeah, really well played on the side of VP. But teka lang, CPF actually well played from their side. Pero si KSC mamamatay! He was the only one who can prevent that cross from happening. And how does that happen, CBF? From a 2 versus 4, nagawa pa nilang 2 versus 0, pare. And CBF pa nga ang magta-timeout doon. Okay. Pero still, man, like, that was a very well played round. Galing sa kanila, pare. Kumapit lang talaga sila sa C4. And despite a really good start, galing kay KSA getting initial doghouse position, pare. Ayun nga, Virtus.pro maybe had the wrong read entirely dito sa round natin. Maybe that was the time na, you know, you kinda have to surround the C4 dito sa doghouse, pare.
Has to be a team highlight talaga, ano, pre. Na naig yung patience dito ni Bright at ni Yaba. Sipin mo, pre. All the information, napaangatan na si Bright pero hindi niya pinush. He held that spot. So, the double swing, ine-expect ko talaga mula kay Layobib at KSA. Pag na-contest nila yon, madali sila makapag-drop down papuntang B-site, mahuli si Yaba. Kung hindi man, forcing the A, it's a 3v1 still, no? Virtus.pro with the misread. Very rare occasion, no? Pero dito talaga, nautakan sila dito ni Yaba. They wanted that post-plant Q, eh. Kailangan na nila marinig yung pagdutot ng mga numero, eh. Pero hindi talaga nagpapabudge dito si Layaba. And I feel like that was the good call for CBF. Well played talaga para sa kanila, pre. No? Not only the marksmanship was good, but the presence na nandun talaga dapat sila to make sure that every shot will hit and expect na iikutan nga sila. Good play para dito kay Bright. Yaba as well, trying to be the best informant sa loob ng RS, no? Akalain mo naman, pre. C4, it was kinda tough to recover, pero napagana pa talaga ng CBF.
Yun nga. And I feel like medyo familiar yung round na yun, no, para sa CPF, and it was very familiar to me at the same time, Salvatore, kasi it felt like ang Kara B retake galing sa VP. You get what I mean? Na, sige, ibibigay namin yung site, pero yung hotel sa amin, yung HM sa amin, yung RS potentially sa amin, they will try to get the extremities first bago sila makapasok ng site mismo, no? And I feel like the last two players fully well aware na ganoon nga yung galawan dito ng Virtus.pro, especially when it comes to retake in this particular site dito sa Eagle Eye, no? Or at least on Ankara as well. Ayun nga, no, they went hunting first. Ayun nga, no, naaning dito yung Virtus.pro instead of itong CBF kasi inaantay nila, okay, when is the C4 gonna go down para ma-confirm na rin namin na pwede na kami dumiretso na B at pwede na kami gumawa.
Marami metal bin.
Bulag, bin, isa pa.
Hindi bulag, piso.
No,
Tayo.
Kaliwa pa, dalawa kaliwa.
Teka lang, pa sa lumid daw, lapit ako.
Kumatras kami, das pwede ka ba?
Okay, pwede.
Kill para dito kay Cetra, no? Grabe naman, CBF anticipating that there's going to be something of a defensive play para sa Virtus.pro sa loob nga ng hotel. May gana pa silang mag-rush doon. Sneaky. That's a very risky play, pero it paid off as Elvin is down.
Yun nga, Elvin being out of commission already dito sa mapa natin. Obviously, may gagawin dito si Kellar and actually kinda playing in his place instead, no? Kasi kailangan pa rin na onting protection nito ni Zetra, pare, knowing how good he is in the late game. But a retake towards Long. I can't blame itong VP for going exactly like this, no? Kung makuha nila yung Long, may access sila ng bypass. Si Yobib nakalaro lang dito sa may spawn side natin and he actually misses his first shot. KSA na andito na para protektahan ng kanyang teammate. Good flash on everybody dito sa CBF. Bulag na bulag sila lahat, pare. Yobib still looking for the opener. A Aiden mamamatay dito sa site. Tetsu
Kita
will be
yun?
up next. Kitang-kita sa taas ng smoke. And it will be another shadow running into yung sniper ni Yobib. The pre-aim is perfect. Wala nang adjust pare. Mouse 1 lang ang kailangan. Virtus.pro. A really good round galing kay Yobib. That can bring some life back dito sa half nila pare.
Kalinang buhay doon ni Yobib, no, pre. Blind spot siya doon sa mga manggagaling ng lane, pati bunker. Kaya yung hard angle na kinukuha ni Yobib was definitely nice. Cetra losing the bout dito sa loob nga ng LB. Pero Bright with a given space. E-entry na nga rin siya. KSA with an off-cam kill to Aldrin. LB nakabantay. Overwhelming push sa CBF. Nakalimutan nila may naka-check-in sa hotel. Yobib now, defensive play. Flash deny. Tetsu manggagaling na nga ng lane. Pasok na ang dalawa ng CBF sa site. Or baka pwede man nilang pa dito si Yaba, nasa exit pa siya. So retake now here for Virtus.pro with man advantage.
Uy, ganda na spot pa naman ni Yaba dito pare. If he can get some distance off of that one, maganda yan men. He already confirms na nandito si Elvin as he did not tap walk yet. Papasok ng ating side, but with 24 seconds left, no, there is not much time to do so. KSA, kailangan mo tumingin pataas dito at yung kakakamay mo kailangan patingin papuntang side. And Elvin will get the trade real quick. Tetsu with a miss. Yobib spotting him dito sa 1F. It has to be a quick scope. Elvin, kailangan mo nang habulin dito si Tetsu. Tetsu. Uy, ang gandang umiwas naman dito ni Tetsu pare. And he has done it. And with only 4 seconds left, it takes 4 to defuse pare at mukhang hanggang 4 lang dito ang Virtus.pro dito sa ating first half. And CBF taking full advantage of the more advantageous side ng mapa natin, which is itong BL. Problema na ngayon, Salvatore. Virtus.pro will be playing the BL side this time, and CBF, they have had their struggles mostly dito sa GR side pare.
Decision making wise no Sneaky, doon talaga sila nahihirapan. When to rotate, when to fight, and when to play this kind of scenario na alright pre, we're down naman. Kailangan talaga natin mag-regroup na ayos. Nananaig yung mga individualities dito ng CBF at yun yung mahihirapan na yun yung mahirap dito no rather for CBF. Whereas Virtus.pro, it's fitting na alam talaga nila paano maglaro ng BL sa Eagle Eye pre, no? Like the mindset na meron sila sa Ankara, they should be able to apply inside of this map. Split pushes, isang counter lurk para dito kay Cetra. Good entry plays para kay Elvin at Yobib. Let us KSA shine in his own play, no? Kaya sinabi na nga ng kaibigan natin pre, no, let Kian cook. Hayaan niyang gumawa siya ng sarili niyang play. Inside of Eagle Eye, where it is fairly different from Ankara, at least on location, no, sa kung paano ka magiging individual standoff dito. Yung problema kasi talaga ng Virtus.pro, it might be inconsistent. No? They might just use Yobib as a lurker, they might just use Elvin as a lurker as well, or other way around na pag-i-entryhin nila yung dalawang yan. Yun yung kailangan malaman dito ng CBF. That kind of movement na meron ng Virtus.pro when it comes to unpredictability. Given na palagi sila may setup sa may LA, paano naman pag nagpa-LB nga sila?
Forgot about yung timing ng BL dun sa bridge pare. They usually do get there first compared to his position pare. So he tried to be a bit balls deep dito sa may LB natin, but you will be regretting that very very soon. Pero ito na nga, 2-man push galing kay Yobib at kay KSA running straight through Aldrin. Pero siya pa makakabawi ng isa. Good bounce flash. He's gonna be blinding Yobib, pero nandito naman si Kellar na papuntang B. But this is not a side take yet sa Alvin na kumukulit nandito yung Virtus.pro dito sa B side. Pero A pala ang padaan. Bright with an opportunity para i-cancel to pare.
Is it a possible play na mag-iingay si KLR, get the information at iigot pa sila papuntang B side? Pero hindi pre yung dalawang players dito ng Virtus.pro pwede ma-sandwich. Pag di nakuha nila Yobib yung kill dito, KLR now trying to do his best. Make sure that this movement is going to be pretty nice for Virtus.pro. Tetsu napakalayo and Bright gets cleared and there goes the trade. Tetsu and Yaba na nga lang. Piso, dalawa dito. Sneaky. The holding of B-site was a clever move para sa Virtus.pro. CBF nagulanta.
Napaalis rin si Tetsu So, yung A-flash, medyo nawarningan siya na baka may paparating dito ng A-site pare. Pero si Yaba nasa loob ng smoke. El Clasico tricks dito sa CFPH pare, pero I think VP is patient enough to kind of just wait it out. Yaba, obviously 1 HP na pare, will be finished off. Tetsu, the only one left alive. And Zetra with an HK pare. Don't hear that often, but it's a headshot para sa kanya. 5-5 Virtus.pro. Ayun na nga, really good recovery and the fact na nasa kanila na yung more advantageous side. May green light na si KSA na kumulit dito, pare.
Grabe pre, no? Like, it was a detail na CBF probably overlooked kasi puro talaga sila pasok ng ng LA or even HM. Pero man, the LB rush, talaga si KSA yung nauuna doon. Whereas CBF was doing the same thing pero sila naman yung nauhuli. Virtus.pro, paano sila yung hindi naagrabyado doon? It was an open spot para mahuli si KSA. It was an open spot para din mahuli din si Kellar. CBF, baka hindi lang talaga nabasa ng maaga dito yung memo ng Virtus.pro. So they're trying to play it passive after being very hyperly aggressive kanina, no, Sneaky? Probably to change the pace of the game. Dapat VP ang nagdidikta. Aldrin now. Aldrin, gonna get the kill. Yobe, possible swing. Pero si Aba with a high-low kasama si Aldrin. Beautiful setup dito. Pero may nakuha pang isa si Cetra bilang pamalit-awa na lang din. There goes the 4v3 CBF. What a play sa loob ng LB.
And I think nakita nila yung pangalan ni Aldrin na pababa dito ng... Yeah, pababa na hotel natin, pare. And at the same time, if you are itong si KSA or si Yobi, pare, pakiramdam ko, you really have to expect that that's gonna happen a lot. Dito sa mapa natin, especially knowing who's gonna be the hotel player, pare. But speaking of hotel, Aldrin has made his way all the way to bypass, has checked base just in case na merong ang paparating dun. Pero Zetra spotting the shoulder of Aiden. Pag nag-repick sa dito, pare, he will be dead. And Aiden will be falling. Split na ang depensa dito ng CBF. Mag-isa lang dito sa B-side itong si Aldrin, and Aldrin immediately. Classic Aldrin, man, looking for a fight already kung sino man ang paparating dito ng HM. Pero Virtus.pro, they are dangling the bait right in front of him, making him want to push forward into the crosshairs dito ni Zetra. Pero hindi. Virtus.pro patience, Bright. Bit of impatience galing sa kanya, pare. Zetra will get shot in the head. Pero yung information, the only A player is in mid. Elvin, nakita na si Bright. A side take potentially. Pero good shot galing kay Tetsu. Keller will go down. C4 is on the ground as well para kay Elvin. Elvin has decided that this will be possibly a fight just for the site itself. Plant is gonna take 2 seconds. HE to top A. Elvin out in the open. Napakagandang angle para kay Tetsu. Maganda na sana yun, pare, kung nakuha pa nila or nakuha nila yung site na medyo maaga-aga pa men. And I think Zetra did not expect na nakatayo pa dun si Bright, pare.
To a play na naman ang nananaig for CBF on the post plants. And to start off that round with another duo play by Aldrin and Yaba. May chemistry through the roof dito para sa side ng CBF. In both the early game and the post plant. Ramdam mo talaga na CBF wanting to make a run. Pero it's like Virtus.pro na hindi pa naahanap yung final form ng kanilang mga executes, ha. Kind of feels different na they were that flawless laban talaga sa atras. Pero up against CBF who had like this coin flip of a defense. Napaganda lang talaga ng CBF. Yung ikot nga nila ng barya. And they got the best version of CBF dito sa GR ng Eagle Eye. Huli ang braso dito ni Yobe. Bright with the hold. Grabe naman, CBF. Everyone is working. Everyone is shooting back. Lahat gumagana para sa CBF. Cetra na huli. Only Tetsu ang nawala sa round na yun. And CBF once again prevailing with a defensive play.
Hindi na nga. That is a timeout just as expected para dito sa Virtus.pro. Parang multiple times na VP naman yung nasasala dito sa mga side takes or ayun nga, sa side takes na ginagawa nga dito ng CBF. But at the same time, very well played actually. Galing dito kay Bright. In that very moment no pare na aware siya na may flash na paparating dito sa site and his entire prerogative no dito sa A site natin pare is to just protect Tetsu as much as possible. Similar sa nakikita natin kay Zetra and Elvin with their connection pagdating sa kanilang GR side pare. Pero para sa CBF, no, I feel like if Aldrin is just enabled to roll on forward time and time again at may onting utility sa kanilang likod, pare, he can definitely, you know, stretch that aggression much more dito sa mapa natin. And this is what I was talking about. CBF is really good at pressuring parts of the map, pare. Like itong si Aldrin papuntang hotel. Like itong si Tetsu sa may mid from time to time, pare. So, I would want to see more of that pressure, you know, galing dito sa CBF kasi yun nga, no, Virtus.pro, considering na it is a lot more of a smaller map, kumbaga, kumpara sa nakita natin last time, pare. Pero that is also of big disadvantage para dito sa VP. Naka-cut off yung mga rotations sila usually dito sa mapa natin, and ayun nga, kinda just CBF cutting the play before it even happens, pare. So, para sa Virtus.pro, I think it's time to go for the sit and wait once again. Siguro may onting sala lang dito sa LB, but I feel like you have to let CBF set their defense muna bago kayo pumasok, pare, kasi that is where the wins were coming from earlier sa subbase, eh.
Passiveness sometimes, no, sumusobra para sa Virtus.pro. Feel like them holding this one angle, waiting na kumagat dito ang ComebackFriends for that hard pick. Feeling ko nagiging alanganin na sa mga rounds, eh, no? Kasi ComebackFriends now understood that it is going to be indeed an aim duel every step of the way, no, Sneaky. Kita mo naman, Tetsu making those fights inevitable talaga para sa Virtus.pro on LA. Yung LB kinukuha nga din ni Tetsu and as well as ni Aldrin para kalabanin si Cetra. So every sort of advantage gusto nga kunin ng CBF because that's where it all starts. Dueling talaga. Ngayon, in order to garner it, kailangan na lang kalmahan dito, no? Virtus.pro.
Second mid sa hotel. Dalawa hotel.
Walang nag-a-adjust.
Patayin.
May mukha nyo ata sa baba.
Wait, there it is.
Play down.
Start of the round already, pare. Yobib getting Aldrin, Tetsu getting Kellar in the third, and Tetsu will be getting Yobib as well. 4 versus 3 at the start of the post-timeout round, pare. Not all good start para dito sa Virtus.pro. I feel like gusto nilang bilisan sana to try and punish itong si Aldrin a bit more handedly, no? Pagdating nga dito sa LB side natin. But I feel like because of that timeout, CBF are also kind of well aware na si Aldrin yung main target dito, pare. So, tinauhan na lang nila dito yung hotel.
Both teams trying to make that deep play. Pero trade hindi talaga pumabor. A rare Cetra miss. Tetsu. Sinaniban nga ba ni Cetra? Siya nga tumatama sa buong second half. Meanwhile, Cetra still yet to make that impact. Umangat na nga. Usually tumatama yon. Finally gets the second in. Hindi ko lang bakit kaya hindi nag-reposition doon si Tetsu, no? Pero nahuhuli na nga siya ni Aiden na nasa second mid. Yaba. And Aiden trying to make it so na yung distraction ni Aiden ay sapat na para makapag-lurk dito si Yaba sa arko. Lahat ng kaganapan, Virtus.pro. Masyado silang focus dun sa HM. Pre, tinan mo, nakakalimutan na nga nilang tumingin. There goes the bomb drop. Pumabor na ngayon sa CBF.
Uy, Aiden, actually sumala rin dito. Sa may mid doors natin, pare, Yaba trying to play poke and prod dito sa C4 natin pero mapapaikot na lang na bypass. Right place, right time ba? Ang kanyang posisyon dito, pare. Mukhang tamang clear lang dito kay KSA and Yaba with the jumping Dologs. EBR, pare. 8-5 para dito sa CBF. And it seems like the opposite is happening dito, no? Salvatore, sinasabi ko nga kanina that CBF, this is where the weak spot appeared dito sa Eagle Eye map natin, pare. Pero yung depensa nila, kumaganda dito, men.
See, there is a possibility that CBF might be able to finish this off pag maintain lang talaga nila lahat ng pressure points ng LA pati ng HM. Huwag lang talaga malurkan ang CBF. This has to be a 10-5. Indeed, no, Sneaky. Multiple flashes binato. Kita mo nga naman talaga 5 ang nabulog doon for CBF. That's why Alden wasn't able to reposition. Pero LA take na naman for Virtus.pro trying to hold it in. Aiden and Tetsu now on dimension pressure points which is door mid. Pati na nga rin tong second mid, pre. KLR nakita, nag-i-swing si Aiden. Wala siyang kasama dito. This has to be a winnable fight para kay Aiden. Para si KLR with an aggressive one. Gets the spray. Lahat nauhuli sa CBF. Tumataas yung pagka-ambisyoso nila dito, Sneaky, and CBF not finding any success just yet. Bright now with the pick.
Pero ina-assume nila si Bright lang dito yung A-player. So Elvin just gonna jump on straight through. Hindi na namalayan na may tao pa sa house. Yaba with a really good kill. Pero mag-isa na lang siya dito, pare. Not much to operate on. He's fully blinded. And is he dead? He's alive? Disconnected? Not really. Yobib, nasa ilalim. Having a hard time trying to kill him. And finally, he does. Tetsu, nasa tower, pare. Honestly, he might get Yobib. Yun na lang.
Ay, si Yobib pa talaga ang kumuha doon. Wow.
I know that last call 100%. Sabi niya, men, Tetsu last tower yan 100%.
Amen. The mind of the golden boy. Striking goal dito sa round na yun no? Tetsu trying to contest itong LV na to rather. Dalawa na pinadala nila sa LV Sneaks. They want the trade so bad. May mahuli lang talaga sa hotel. Siyempre, they can no longer afford na may mahuli dito sa Virtus.pro no? Kailangan talaga CBF yung gumagawa ng play na magiging aggressive nga sila. Virtus.pro going all the way deep into the map just to secure any form of fights laban sa CBF
Yan, nilapit na dito si Aldrin more on the high mid side. More than anything pare, which could be the right call para sa kanila. Kaso kung magpipick dito si Yaba randomly dito sa may mid side, it would probably be a move that he would regret. Smoke is available once na makuha nga ng Virtus.pro itong mid control na kanina pa nilang hinahanap. And with the smoke on the A side, Zetra mapapasala na lang and will be attempting to see if he can get this opening dito kay Tetsu at makukuha niya ngayon. Zetra with the entry, pero Kellar may kita na kasi Yaba na matalon dito sa may mid side. Aiden with the trade in return, but Zetra once again the second one para sa kanya pare. And VP, cleaning up yung kanilang executes no pare. That was one of their more, let's just say, clean na executes nga dito sa mapa natin, men.
0 to 0 best, no, pre? Best tactical mind in the game right now. Not all the time, pero when it's there, kita mo nga naman yung agwat ng Virtus.pro laban sa mga iba. CBF, I feel like it was a round na di ko ina-expect na ganun pa talaga sila kakalat no? Out in the position for trades, no delays, no utils whatsoever. And it was the art of delaying talaga laban sa VP, pre. It should have been a round na makakapag-lurk si Aldrin dun Marami na siyang mahuhuli sa LA. Kasi nandun nasumbong na si Cetra sa LA. May pwesto na makukuha si Aldrin. Kita mo nga naman, Virtus.pro. May 3-round deficit. Balak na nga unti-untiin. Itong laro nga natin, Tetsu! Nakaltukan. Nabintian na brasuhan. Anyways, piso na nga lang din siya ngayon. Virtus.pro now eyeing for a possible play na pwedeng ma-throw off na naman yung HM.
Yeah, good call as well, no? Galing dito sa Virtus.pro. Actually, napansin nila na si Tetsu kanina nasa hotel. So he will be switching up his peaks papunta ng next round natin and insta-boost papunta dito sa half-wall din para malig. Possibly would have been a kill if Zetra was right on the money dun pare. But still, key information para sa side ng Virtus.pro. They still think na pumunta ng A-site itong si Tetsu, no? So they would be assuming na this B-site would be slightly easier to take considering walang sniper na nakatutok doon. Pero Virtus.pro, nga, keeping it steady pare. They are now playing their sure shot rounds dito sa round natin pare.
One minute and 19, Sneaky. Virtus.pro, kakatok-katok pa rin. No deep angles, no bait smokes. These are just methodical steps para papagalin ang pacing ng CBF to probably read na may magle-late entry dito for CBF, especially lalo't may mga nakahawak ng hotel dito. No? Para sa second mid to, Indy, BR na rin. Kaya ba now trying to delay as much area as possible, no? Tutulungan niya na nga si Aiden at si Bright. Stack heavily ang Virtus.pro sa LA. May iwan si Elvin for that HM push. And here comes the split. Yoti, papasok na nga. Yaba with the trade. Pero si KLR Dugoan, makukuha na nga ni Aiden dito, no? Yaba, amazing! Double! Pero hinanap na nga ni Aiden ngayon. Sino ba yung nag-alert na yan? Si Elvin na mahuhuli sa Dormid. CBF, 1 kill away for securing match point para sa 43 HP na Cetra. There is still a possibility. Habang may Cetra, may buhay pa. Pero pagpatay na, wala na, Sneaky. Comeback friends, 9-7.
Yun nga, CBF, where did this come from? Yun nga, no, yung prior GR sites namin, ay, it looked disconnected, it looked distraught, it looked, I say, just not good in general, pare. Pero CBF, out of nowhere, performing up against one of the best in the tournament, best in the country, best in the world, pare. despite all the pressure na meron sa kanila dito to perform, it's still CBF getting itong map point natin. Very well played from their side. Na ito pagdating dun sa execute ng Virtus.pro, it just seems like they're firing and backing off and firing and backing off, pare. Pero hindi nila fully binibigay yung site. Kumbaga, they are trying to see if they can get maybe some damage, maybe a pick or two while they are falling back in that position. Obviously, kung kayo yung Virtus.pro, no, you're chasing these players down para makakuha kayo ng mas magandang angle or mas magandang post plant, no, dito sa mapa natin. And it seems like Virtus.pro, no, they're getting baited and switched, which is usually their lingo, pare.
Specialty nila yun, pre. Since imitation is a serious form of flattery talaga. The point na CBF is going to the direction of Virtus.pro mismo to use it against them in a more effective manner, no? Okay, Yaba has been getting those kills intact. Bait play, probably Aldrin masyado mainit, but he's Aldrin! Okay lang yung ganun! There was no pop flash! Naisipan lang ni Aldrin na gawin yun, Sneaky! He's that crazy! Kailan makakabawi nga ba? Pero he's only good for one. Nakaltukan na siya, kaya hindi na siya pwede pumasok pa. Pero alam na nga ni Aldrin, he might go for a push. 48 seconds left. Alanganin na yung round ng Virtus.pro.
Yeah, Keller well aware of it though. So, di pwedeng tumulak si Aldrin insta. Dito sa ating hotel side, they need to see if they can get a bit of a confirmation going. KLR spotted sa base.
Buhay pa rin.
Aldrin, buhay pa nga. KLR. Protected by some mailboxes dito sa spawn, pare. And the mailboxes will not be enough. Aiden will be getting Zetra in return. Elvin, nakuha na nga dito si Aldrin, but it's a dying effort. Galing dito sa Virtus.pro. They got absolutely swept off their feet on a surprise performance galing sa CBF on their GR side of Eagle Eye. And it seems like we are going all three. Wasak ang predictions. And we go into map number 3, pare. Honestly, big improvement galing sa CBF compared sa nakita natin sa kanila the first time dito sa ating mapa ng Eagle Eye. Granted, they did take they did take STS all the way to 13-12 dun sa kanilang respective na map, no, but I feel like they had to play a slightly more different Eagle Eye compared to the usual sa nakikita ka natin ng CBF. Aldrin is still, the usual aggression na nakikita ka natin, but I feel like the fight and then back off immediately, fight back off immediately, and yung sa galing ng pagtago dito ng CPF sa kanilang mga angulo, pare, it really made a very confusing environment para dito sa Virtus.pro na really does heavily rely on those reads and those openers, pare, kasi ayun nga, no, Aldrin once again did a very nice job dito sa mapa natin keeping the pressure on the hotel side, but at the same time, I feel like Virtus.pro hindi nila in-expect yung mga angles na tinatake ng mga ibang players natin and the setups na nilabas ng CPF, especially on this defense. So yun nga, no, props to CBF for that one, pare. Medyo na-confused dito yung Virtus.pro, especially at the tail end of this game. And ayun nga, pare. And at the same time, they finished it 10-7, pare. Malaking achievement yan, man.
Definitely, no, Sneaky. Kita mo nga naman, no? Wala nang madali sa panahon ngayon. Ang hirap na nga isipin, ang hirap nga rin i-predict kung magiging 2-0 nga ba talaga to, because CBF shattered every mind in the world right now na magiging madali talaga to para sa Virtus.pro. It kinda looked like that naman no simula, no, Sneaky, because Cetra was trying and definitely Yobib was also doing a lot of highlight plays para talaga makuha ng Virtus.pro ang panalo. Pero, men, CBF, dinaan sa late game, nagpa-item talaga muna at talagang nirekta na nga dito sa leeg ng Virtus.pro. May bawi pa nga ba ang karap ang ating set number 3, the world's most amazing deciding map. Doon nga tayo dadalhin ng Virtus.pro at ng CBF. Dito naman tayo sa ating panel na kung saan nandun standing by si Mochi at Bipolar at na maraming masasabi sa laruan nga ng CBF and Virtus.pro. Kaya guys, take it away.
Maraming salamat sa ating mga casters, and boy oh boy, who would have thought that ComebackFriends will indeed be making the comeback and making it close against Virtus.pro, no, dito sa mapa ng Eagle Eye. Well, sabi nga nila, you can use their own tricks against them, and kahit papano, that definitely lengthened ang kanilang stay dito, no, sa ating unang match for today.
You know what, Monchi, nakita nga natin na after the surge of sides, nawalan dito ng gasolina ang buong Virtus.pro. Pero that was given the fact na talagang hinaharapan na dito ng buong CBF yung players natin for Virtus.pro. Because Virtus.pro in Eagle Eye 2.0, they still take their time. Despite the map being a little bit very, very small, nakikita mo na they're still trying to go for setup plays, binabagalan nila yung first 20 seconds of the round, and looking at it, doon nga na sinabi dito ng ating mga casters, they're just poking and going back or going away from the fights. Ang parang nasa isip lang dito ni Aldrin and the rest of CBF, let's try to get early picks. And if we do, balik na lang tayo ulit pabalik, no? Nakikita natin dito, kanina si Aldrin on hotel multiple times. He pushes towards LB, kukuha siya ng dalawa, and then he will back off. And the other side does that well. Minsan, nakikita rin natin dito sa mid, or a little bit, yung parang similar playstyle sound din. Not as well as Aldrin though, pero ang ganda pa rin na nakikita natin dito for CBF once they were on the GR side. We also saw some greatness of Cetra getting some plays, pero in terms of clutches, nakikita natin ngayon, ang ganda ng mid-rounding ng buong players for ComebackFriends because hindi sila napipitas ang todo despite them going for these like poke and prod plays. Looking at it though, look at Cetra man. 19 kills and 10 headshots, 19 kills and 10 deaths and 2 headshots, 100% rating, and this was given to the fact na nasa GR side pa sila. Pero ComebackFriends man, look at that Aldrin again. Kung sino ang gumagana sa base, hindi nawala ng pag-asa para bigyan ng buong puwersa ito ComebackFriends to actually go in. The problem is right now, Mochi, that I would like to address is that Aiden, one of the 60% natin dito for ComebackFriends na sinasabi ni Tetsu na kailangan natin protektahan, parang hindi na muna kailangan protektahan ngayon, Mochi, kasi talagang it's all Aldrin, it's all Yaba, and it's well as Bright. Nakita mo dito, there was a lot of patient plays, especially on the last stretch dito sa ating first half nung nasa BL side pa dito sila Bright, na siya mismo ang gumagawa ng plays para mabuhay pa din sila and to keep it close bago sila mag-pop off dito sa ating second half. Pero syempre, amazingness. ComebackFriends now pushing it to map number 3.
And I feel like you can definitely view this as a double-edged sword, no? Pero first, let us acknowledge itong si Aldrin, no? Definitely taking the very high rating.
Oh, yeah.
Dito sa mapa ng Eagle Eye natin, doing some of the things that are unthinkable. Ika nga nila, no? Even just by directly going in without even using any type of utilization galing dito, no, sa kanyang mga kasama o kahit sa sarili niya, no, just facing them up ng diretso. And definitely ensuring na merong surprise factor, no, against Virtus.pro. And going back to my point kanina, no, I feel like this is also the double-edged sword, acknowledging yung status ni Aiden ngayon, no, that yes, as much as hindi siya masyado nakakapag-perform ngayon, merong mga willing sumalo sa kanya. And finally, we are seeing that. Parang kanina lang, we are saying na we are quite scared na hopefully hindi magkaroon ng moments that they'll be relying on him. No, everyone is already been able to step up dito, no, sa side ng ComebackFriends, and I can't wait kung ano ang gagawin nila sa ating susunod na mapa. At mukhang nakasagot na nga sila at meron nga atang comeback galing dito sa CBF, pero mapupunan kaya ng power of friendship laban dito sa mga Diyos ng crossfire scene? Malalaman natin yan maya-maya. Tayo ay nagbabalik sa laban ng ComebackFriends against Virtus.pro na kung kanina lang sub-base ang napunta sa VP at as well as ang Eagle Eye ang napunta sa ComebackFriends. Kanina naman kaya mapupunta ang mapa ng Kara. Lalong-lalo na bipolar, we already seeing players stepping up, especially itong si Bright.
Yeah, sobrang solid, no, Mochi. Very underrated pagdating dito, especially when Tetsu got the sense of the playing field pagdating dun sa GR side kanina. Parang nabasa na nila, oy, Bright, okay, play a little bit backward pero together with the team, and you can easily outfrag these players. Plus, talaga na mind games nila dito yung Virtus.pro with a lot of these plays, no? Pero coming into this, it's gonna be Ankara Mochi, where in CBF will start on the BL side. I would love to see them on the GR side here. Kasi honestly, mas malalaman mo kung anong gagawin dito ng players for VP because they will be playing very slow, and you know na talagang execution lang yung mangyayari. It relies on these players to go front. Plus, again, big plays needed for Yaba, for Aldrin, and as well as Bright. I wouldn't put Aiden in that contention kasi hindi naman siya, he's not yet seen, no, Mochi. So those three players together with Tetsu need to be explosive dito sa PLSL. For VP, man, they can really come back after that big defeat sa Eagle Eye.
Exactly. Pero let us acknowledge that these qualifying teams already been able to pull through dito sa ating decider map against Virtus.pro.
Yeah.
That is actually quite of a really important thing to address din dito, no? Kaya naman, it seems like Ankara is already ready at ready na rin ang ating mga casters, Salvatore and Sneaky Frog. Kayo na to.
Maraming salamat dyan sa ating panel, no? Very much well said na naman dito for bipolar for those players to actually pop off. Pero kita mo Sneaky, with the overwhelming element na talagang nasanay tayo kay Aiden na palagi siya nagta-top frag, with now Aiden bottom fragging sa Eagle Eye, they still got the win. Do you sense any sort of shift dito sa loob nga ng Ankara with those two elements intact para sa CBF?
I feel like there is gonna be a shift happening dito sa Ankara considering how close it is dito sa design natin on Eagle Eye. It is just slightly bigger and there's no tower in mid. Pero ayun nga, dito ako medyo natatakot para dito sa CBF once again. Granted, I did say that nung Eagle Eye, tas biglang lumakas sila dito sa GR side, but at the same time, this is an entirely different map. Yun nga, according to history para dito sa side ng CBF, the last 2 times na natalo sila sa mapa na to was actually up against itong STS and up against itong Execration, if I am not mistaken. So, ayun nga, hindi naging convincing yung mga naging Ankara maps nila, especially up against top teams like that. The only win that they have realistically is up against week 2 matches na 13-11 pa sila sa Ankara, pare. And that is not looking good para sa kanilang resume. Pero, where the doubts lie the most, dun nakakakuha ng mga wins itong CBF, no? So hopefully yun nga, all that bad info in the past para sa kanila para can definitely bode well. Pero para naman sa Virtus.pro, no? Surprisingly, despite their slow demeanor pagdating sa baka mapa natin, Salvi, their higher percentage actually lies within yung kanilang BL side, and I feel like one of the main reasons why is because Elvin is so good at parsing the map, and at the same time KSA, his entries have been so key dito sa mapa natin. And objective dito ng CBF is to try and get some of those early picks, no, pare, kasi kung wala agad si Cetra sa start ng round, kung wala agad si Yobi sa start ng round, hindi ka na si VP scrambling para makuha yung advantage pabalik, no?
You did say no shift, no Sneaky, pero the thing is, sometimes major adjustments can be made in a decider match like this para hindi overly marid ang laban yung isa't isa, no? And vice versa here for both Virtus.pro and CBF. Ngayon, anong klaseng CBF and Virtus.pro ba yung makikita nga natin? Will they be playing passive? Will they be playing this slight shift of attention, no? Sa loob nga na HL pati LA. Let's see. Sika, listen naman dito muna sa comms sa laban ng dalawang teams na to.
Lang nakikita, Kel? Sumama mo lang.
Yeah. Pistol, wag kang paparinig
Lasing ako ng...
Wait lang pre.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Bright entering. Breaking and entering, pare. Pwede nga natin sabihin dito. Bright. USP headshot agad dito kay KSA. Spray down. Will not work para kay Yobi. Baden with a really good trade on the behind. Tetsu trying to protect his team from the boxes side. Pero binabomba na siya dito, pare. Smoke towards EA to try and help itong si Kellar. Napatayin ito si Tetsu, but they are taking their sweet time. So yun lang, mid-jump pa ka nahuli dito si Tetsu, pare. 28 seconds left. Meron ng control yung Virtus.pro ng ating EA. And waiting for Zetra to finally enter from the exit side, pero hindi yan yung hanap niya, pare. Ang hanap niya, ang flashbang papunta dito sa top A. Kita na agad si Yaba sa may hagdan. 13 seconds. Kellar, good clear galing sa kanya. And another one for him. And hindi pa mahuhulog itong si Aiden, who needs the sniper of Zetra when you can just tell him to flash top A at si Kellar na bahala, pare.
Grabe pre, knowing Cetra, having multiple nade kills all throughout the year, he also throws a mean pop flash talaga, Sneaky. One heck of a shock and Kobe action sa loob ng top A to convert that round for Virtus.pro. Nasa part na ako, nakahanda na yung analysis ko na maganda yung naging pasok nila Aiden at nila Bright para mawala si KSA kagad Pero man, Kellar chose violence and now Tetsu round number 2. Trying to do more. Grabe, no? Forward, backward. Maiwasan man lang yung nade. Maiwasan man lang yung shots dito sa may TV. How Virtus.pro finally see an opening possibly, no? After mawala dito ni Cetra, there is always a plan B para sa VP. Make it a retake scenario. Pero ang tanong, hahanap pa ba sila ng pilas dito or will they let it play 4v5? I feel like that should not be the case.
Yun yan. Realistically, hindi naman nasira yung kanilang depensa dito sa Alvi kasi Ayun nga, still it is Elvin watching itong second mid in HM potentially. The Rat King, he spots one. Dito sa may CA side, and hindi yata naspatan na meron na pumasok dito ng CA pare. The Rat King strikes again! Dito sa mapa natin, slipping in between the timings dito ng CPF. Akala ko bantay sarado na dito yung arko dahil dito kay Tetsu, pero mukhang hindi. Virtus.pro, bit of a clue na naandito na sa B-side ang buong angkan dito ng CBF. Flash is gonna go through Kellar. Face to face with Danger. Bright tagged up at the start, and it will be a double spray for Kellar, popping off at the start ng ating Angkara. Tetsu finally takes him out, but still, advantage is still tangible para sa Virtus.pro. Aiden is now down. Tetsu na lang natitira. And he's right up next on the menu, pare. Virtus.pro, what a resounding first 2 rounds para sa kanila, pare.
Kellar is 6-1-0. Not because nahahanap niya yung nahahanap niya yung kills na yun from forcing that position. Kellar just happened to have a play in his mind para talaga makuha yung 6 na meron siya. It's definitely from the push. Pop flash dito ni Cetra, and now with the rotation mula sa sumbong nila Elvin na may mga magagaling ng TB, he found the certain time, which is very, very much KLR coded para ka sa round na yun, pre. HM attack para dito sa side ng CBF. So kanilang linangin na naman dito si El Capitan. Kinda hard to seek an opportunity kung ikaw ang CBF, no? Nagulangan kayo sa A site, di kayo nakapasok ng B, yung HM palagi may tao. CBF medyo mahihirapan na pumwesto sa laron to, knowing Virtus.pro is having an amazing set of defenses for the past few series that they played. Walang nagbago sa VP, friend. They still played this chokehold of a GR sa loob ng Angkara, and CBF, kahit gaano nga ba sila ka-aggressive, di man nila mako-convert itong post-plant. Ayun yung mahirap sa CBF ngayon, man. They need to find another protocol para makapasok eh.
Yun yan, this is the irritating part ng Virtus.pro defense. Para Elvin will be sent towards TB. Not a double spray, but a double kill for the side of VP. 1-4-2 setup, no? Ito yung sinasabi ko, Salvatore. Pakiramdam ko, Elvin, he's allowed to be as aggressive as possible if he wants to. Kasi pag namatay si Elvin, naandun naman si Kellar to play the exact role that he was playing in the exact same position. So he is just allowed to do whatever he wants, check whatever he wants as well. Pero Yobib, from the backside, siya naman ang maiging daga ngayon, pare. Naspatan na nga dito si Tetsu. Sniper's already out. Yaba and Bright, the last 2 left alive. And this is looking a whole lot more lifeless kumpara nga dito sa Eagle Eye, pare. A whole lot less of a fight from the side of CBF. They are getting picked one by one.
Was another sticky Bright corner na nga sa may B-slow, pre, pero full blinded
Timeout.
na Bright. Literal nga talaga na sinabuhay ang pangalan. Napakadaming palamuti sa mata dito ng CBF. They don't know where and when to pick. Virtus.pro, 3 strong rounds. Wala pa lang sa atake nila Elvin at Teobe, but yung galing lang talaga ni KLR, man. We're already waiting for that banter talaga ng Virtus.pro, no? If you start Angkara like this, maraming ang dapat ipagyabang talaga, pre. Knowing na kinancel mo yung entry mula sa vents, pasok mula sa B-slope, kontra ng TB, lahat ng yun, pre, nabasa ni KLR. And even going cloning no? Parang na-clone niya yung presensya dito ni Elvin para maging si Yobib no round na yun, pre. Now, what could be more here for Virtus.pro? Parang wala na, pre. Hindi nila kailangan laliman, pre. They already have this fixated playbook na hindi na nila dapat palaguin. Sa CBF, sila na mismong gagawa ng paraan para maghanap pa na panibago. Very late right now for CBF to try to do something different.
Yeah, minute and 20. Bit of a CA wallbang, pare. And Kellar, he's just causing a distraction para walang tumingin sa side ni Elvin. And they have to recover the C4 as well, no, Salvi? So kung bumaba dito si Yaba at mamamatay lang rin siya, pare, the C4 now fully exposed at kitang-kita dito ni Elvin, pare, papaglaban na yan. And Aiden will be taking his head off. Pero tignan mo naman yung oras natin, Salvi. The amount of map control versus the time that we have. CBF, they don't have much options, pare.
CBF trying to find an opening sa may second mid, pre. Pero alanganin nga to. They still are not aware na may setup na kagad ang Virtus.pro as early as right now. Kahit marami nang oras na nalalagas, kahit saan sila pumunta sneaky, may nakatao
Good
na
call.
Virtus.pro dyan. Pwera na lang kung iiwan nila si KSA sa A-site, opting for Yobib na tauhan ang HM na lang at sarili nga nilang RS. Probably a fake flash para mabenta dito ang Virtus.pro. Pero ayaw nga nilang bilhin to. May entry na papasok dito sa loob ng A-side for CBF. Yobib early
Timing.
pick finds Bright. May dalawa papasok. Si Aldrin nakatalikod. Tetsu with a kill. KSA now repositioning. CBF collapsing in the mid-round. Virtus.pro another play.
CBF assuming na naka-rotate na dito yung Virtus.pro papuntang top A natin sa Alvi, so they are nowhere to be found. Pakaramdam ko, nagulat din dun yung CBF men na, uy, wala palang tao sa right side. The only person who can realistically stop this is itong si KSA na nasa room. And they took their sweet time para umakyat dito ng top A and actually take full advantage of that situation. Pero Yobib wasn't really that far from his spot. Pare, he was on exit the entire time, just making sure na secure ang backside ng ating A-side defense. And right after that, pare, kinover na siya ng kanyang teammate. And with one flash later, medyo off na yung timing ni Yobib sa pagpasok na dito sa may left stairs natin. And CBF, a tragic timing para sa kanila, no? Kasi feeling ko 9 times out of 10 kung nakatayo dito si Yobib sa left side, pare, that would have definitely been a possibility. Pero dahil nga na tama yung timing, tama yung sala dito ni Yobib, and he even caught 2 in that situation, even 3 actually. And yun nga, the VP timings are now starting to work dito sa ating mapa ng Ankara, pare, and this is gonna be, I wouldn't say pure suffering, no, para dito sa CPF men, pero yung opportunities na nakuha nila from the prior maps, na yun nga, it's nowhere to be found dito sa map 3 natin, pare.
Siguro pre, brain function for CBF. They have the aim, they have the moves. Pero kasi pre, in the mid-round, doon pa talaga sila nagko-collapse. I kinda admire na kaya nga nilang kunin yung TV, pati CA, which is 2 very distinctive places na masyadong mahirap talaga na kunin bilang BL. Those are 2 places na major pag nakuha talaga ng Virtus.pro. Right now, with no involvement ni Cetra, Virtus.pro is still getting rounds. These are fights na hindi malayuan. Pre, these are fights na kailangan pumasok talaga ang CBF. Anong ginagawa ng Virtus.pro? Playing reactive, di ba? Like, this is simple crossfire to them. Wala nang mas malalim pa dito sa ginagawa talaga ng CBF kasi nagbumukha nga talaga na, okay, distraction, hanap ng kalaban, may nakita ang kalaban, fake nga natin, tingnan natin kung may magiging lurk. Nabasa pa rin ng Virtus.pro because those are close quarter fights. So feeling ko talaga pre, there needs to be an early pick talaga. Kumbaga, spark plug talaga. Pag walang nahanap ang CBF sa early,
Double snipe.
hindi sila gagana talaga eh. It's really hard. Pigang-piga na si Tetsu kanina sa Eagle, kailangan niya papigayin yung sarili niya sa loob ng Ankara. And now, desperate HM push could be good.
Kaso men, walang sasalo ng ng HM push na yun, pare. And the fact that they got early clues as well na nasa kamay ng
Ginawa nga
VP
nila.
ang LA na to, men. And Yobib with the sniper, KSA ready and waiting. Pero siya pa kayo sa sala dito, pare. CBF not aware though na wala sa kanila yung A control dito, pare. So Virtus.pro will be adjusting accordingly from the hotel side. And yun lang, Tetsu! Ano nangyari dun, pare? Kind of frozen place. Dito sa high mid, full spray galing kay Kellar and Zetra. Easy shot para sa kanya. And even on the second one, Aiden's gonna go down. Pero di niya na malayan na meron na palang miyembro ng CBF na nakapasok na hotel. It's a 2 versus 2. And Kellar, Yobib, looking for the takeover from the backside. Yobib naghahanap ng smoke, naghahanap ng flash, and will be taking this tower. Pero similar calls na nakita natin kanina on that 2 versus 4, hindi mo nila ilalapag ang C4. They will be going hunting, but also you'll be very well aware of this na CBF nagawa na nila to kanina, pare. This is no longer a strange play para sa kanila. Pero Yaba, satisfied with his clears. And it will be a B-side retake, pare. Let's just see. Yobib, Kellar, magkasabay na nga dito sa may TV natin. Yaba, nasa bato, Bright. Andito sa 2F natin. 24 left on the clock. Naaaning na dito ang mga players ng CPF. Where are they? Really? Bright, good hold. Good headshot dito kay Yobib. Pero Kellar, inakita na nga dito si Bright. And Yaba in the best position you can ask for. Nasa batteries. Nag-aantay.
Nakaltukan pa yun.
At nagpapanik na si Kellar. 4-1 CBF. Finally with a response, pare.
Nakaltukan pa yun si Yaba. Nagkamuntikan pa talaga. Yeah, well played here for Bright. It was a very messy HM take para sa CBF. Pero buti na nga lang nandun si Aldrin with a veteran move! Tetsu! Pickers disadvantage ang market pre. Siya pa talaga nanalo dun. Now CBF turning on the Jets pre. They want to go as fast as possible para mawala siguro ang setup, para magulantang ang Virtus.pro. Sino ba talaga ang tunay na nagugulat dito? Tetsu still getting the kill. Sa 4v3 now, 1 minute and 52. Yaba also trying na magmala nitro nga dito, no? Para mabilis ang kanilang pagkuha ng site ng KSA. With the lurk, pero na 180 siya ni Yaba. Pre, good read here for Yaba. Now a 2v4. 32 on the clock. Grabe men, look at the space na kinuha ng CBF. 1 minute and 43 na sila nakapasok ng site. Grabe, di sila nagsayang ng oras.
Yeah, grabe confidence play yun, no? Galing kay Tetsu dito para to get that opening. Yobib, USB shot. Sasala dito kay Aiden, no? But with a flash, he will be going down as well as itong si Keller in the background pare. But still, yun nga, no, Tetsu, if he can start the rounds off like that, the opening pick papunta kay Zetra, opening pick papunta kay Elvin and or kay KSA or kay Yobib, magandang simula yan na pwedeng i-take advantage dito ng CBF as VP will be in punish mode right after that, or at least try to look for one player back, one player in return. Pero napakasayang ng round na yun, Salvi. I feel like the only reason why kung bakit natalo dun yung Virtus.pro is namatay si KSA sa CA. And if he got that kill and backed off in time, pwede pa yun eh.
Boom! Muntik na. Muntik na si KSA. All goods, all goods. Both teams not really in the state na maghahanap talaga ng kalaban dito, no? Okay, let's try to analyze the minimap for a bit. No HM whatsoever, pre. I don't know what Virtus.pro is cooking, pero baka pwede ako makakuha ng piraso dito. No HM. How do you play retake from hotel? Pag kinuha ng CBF yung TB, magagaling sila ng hotel mismo, pa-B-slope? Or magpapa-RS muna sila? Added now entry. First contact already. Elvin spray. Pero kailangan niya mag-reposition ng mabilisan pre kasi may mga parating ng kasama si Aldrin dito. Either uluhan o TB lang to, sneaky. I feel like Virtus.pro already has bit of a note kung nasaan yung CBF.
Pero dahil nawala sila sa hotel, no, CPF does recognize na may onting weakness na at least on the hotel side of the map. But at the same time, if you have went up against Virtus.pro long enough na pare, alam nila na meron pang additional player na nakatoka na nga dito sa B-side natin. So CPF assuming and still looking for another opening. Ganda ng wide swing sana doon ni Yobib and Tetsu sandwiched in between CA. And dahil nga dyan, nakuha na nila yung HM control. Pero Yobib, alam ba niya na meron ba ng paparating dito ng second mid? Aiden with the crawl. Aiden will not get taken down. It is actually itong si Yaba. Aiden with the trade in return. 4 versus 2. Bright trying to plant pero masyado maaga pare. Elvin with the headshot. And it will be Elvin with the second as well. Virtus.pro. Grabe min. Sobrang na-pressure yung CBF. They low-key were forced to kind of play the B-site at that point pare.
Another play na nag-collapse ang CBF in the mid-round, or was it just Virtus.pro having the better mind para alamin yung movement after that Aldrin pick? It was definitely pre a B push for CBF, and I feel like kung iniisip lang talaga nila that there is a lot of time para makapag-CA pa to get that A action, would have been a better round for CBF in terms of rotation pre. KLR, ganda ng angle pre, no? Peripheral vision ang nanaig dito para kay Keller na makita na may mga gustong mag-HM na naman, na mga makukulit na gustong umakyat bahay sa lungga ng Virtus.pro. Still holding all players of CBF. No action, no aggression. Since alam na nga nila na may nakabantay ng RS. Ang mahirap dito, sneaky, kung ikakat nila yung TB. So you get TB, you don't really have that avenue para makapag-util papunta ng B-site kung may mga nakakontakt ng hotel. Pero in this case, since wala naman, they might be able to do it.
Magtutuhay mid na lang.
One bit of noise siguro sa A-site, sneaky, para makapag-B-site sila. Pero yung C4, iwan pa.
Actually like this. Kind dito sa Virtus.pro, they made all the presents dito sa hotel kanina and now CBF is filled with hotel players. Good pick galing kay Elvin. And Aiden might be up next. Gusto nilang kunin yung trade dito pare. Aiden finally getting Elvin in return. Pero si Zetra nakuha na si Yaba na masyadong makulit dito sa high mid. C4 is still miles away from the site. Aiden spotted sa second mid. He has to get the kill dito kay Kellar. Kailangan niya lumaban dito pare. RS is now occupied by 2 and here comes KSA. Nakita na si Aldrin. That's the C4 down. CBF taking a bit too long sa pagkuha nila ng map control. Kellar finally taken down pero bawas na nga dito si Aiden. Aiden looking for Zetra and he does find him 2 versus 2 but realistically pare yung C4 nahulog pa rin sa mid so they're gonna have to fight for it. Yobib and KSA, two very different angles. Yobib from distance, he knows that the ABR is way better from this position. 6 and 2 Virtus.pro. Great recovery after those two pare.
They just look lost. Mostly CBF. As much as the space that was given by Aiden was already good. Tingnan mo naman kung nasaan yung mga ibang kakampi dito nila Aiden. They're too busy trying to catch Eddie Lurker. I feel like that would have been a different concern pag naitanim na nila yung C4, no, Sneaky? Kinda tough to look at here is CBF. Day and night difference kung ano nga bang Eagle Eye at ang Kara para sa kanila. KSA playing EA. One swing and a headshot is good enough para wala nang isip dito si Tetsu at sumunod pa talaga si Aldrin. KSA. Vents is his domain. Walang makalampas na CBF. May susunod na pasyente sa clinic ni KSA. Pero tinanggal ang pasyente ang doktor. Aiden living to tell another day. Pero dalawa naman na naging kapalit nun.
Lumaban yung pasyente pare, kumbaga. I don't think the doctor's gonna like that a bit too much pare. Aiden on half HP already. Pero ang ganda rin ang ginawa doon ni KSA dito sa Vents and once again, taking full advantage of that running headshot accuracy, no? At least for the first 2 or 3 bullets dito ng AK. And for sure, nagulat doon si Tetsu pare. He wasn't expecting the widest swing possible dito sa Vents side. And Virtus.pro, wala nang problema para mag-defend dito pare. Just put 2 on A, 2 on high mid. And you are basically Gucci. Kahit ibigay mo na nga dito yung hotel, actually, this would be fine as long as meron silang paraan na makabalik dito ng second mid at makabalik sila dito ng hotel. I think they're gonna be fine. But now, the nades, everything being done. Elvin, nagkamali ng harap. Pero Zetra naman yung magpipick papunta dito ng RS. Smoke's gonna go down. 39 seconds. Aiden, napakaganda ng gapang na dito pare. Zetra looking for the quick trade. Pero Aiden mapupunta na lang ng TP. Really good delay and really good denial as well para sa Virtus.pro. Usually, they would like to take itong hotel and itong TB. Pero dediretso na lang nila dito yung site. Nasa boto na dito si Yaba. Fully flash itong si Bright ang kanyang screen pare. Kumbaga, HK, can it do the taps again? Mukhang oo. But only on one player. Yobe with his own second kill. Aiden, Yobe, blast to left alive. Literal na head-to-head dito pare. Pero Aiden will be getting that last one. And that was very well needed para sa CBF pare. They needed that one.
This is a bit of a contrast here, no? Sneaky, a popping off Aiden. Still, down 3 rounds sa ating parating na second half. What is going on for CBF? Has to rely on heroics, forcing the 1v1s and having measly 70-30 entry, 70 of which naka-counter flank nga talaga sila, no? Grabe man, what is happening? What is going on? Grabe man, Virtus.pro still. Setup. Ano nangyari sa headset ni Zetra, pre? Kaya,
Even check lang dito ni Boss Zero. To balay mo, diba? Hindi pala gumagana. Sabi mo na, hello, mic test. Baka one of the main reasons no, kung bakit hindi masyadong na-stretch ni Zetra at ni Elvin itong high mid natin. Maybe the communication between them was a bit wary, no? So, ayun nga, tamang testing lang na mic. I feel like Zetra got the message, pare. I feel like Zetra got the message. I need to talk more with my team. And of course, being one of the more important roles dito sa Virtus.pro, you kinda have to, no? Kasi dami ka nakikita bilang sniper dito, especially in a map like Ankara. Pero para sa CBF, pare, defense will be the way to go para sa kanila dito, men. And honestly, despite yung kanilang stats dito sa dito sa GR side being 41%, na yun nga, no, judging from history, parang this is where they get their strength dito sa mapa na to, surprisingly.
ay, maalala mo, no, Sneaky, I feel like this was the map that, you know, despite dehado ang CBF noon, they still got ahead up against Virtus.pro ng Swiss.
Mm.
Pero ibang usapan na talaga yung nangyari nung third set na yun. Which is, ironically, that set right now, Aiden, papakausap kita sa referee. Paano mo napatama yun?
Ano yan? Inspecting the play. Gucci, green card naman pare. Ang tawag dito? Pa-plume pa lang yung smoke. Kakatapon pa lang. So he is in the safe for now. Wala pang yellow card na kailangan nilabas pare. Pero ito men. Ito talaga. Pag may smoke yan pre, it doesn't matter. Pero passive CPF, honestly. This is classic CPF, no? Salvi, this is classic Tetsu. As soon as he gets a singular pick, sa lahat pa ng players na mapipick para dito sa VP, it had to be Elvin na pare, they immediately play as far back as possible at wala men. Suntukan na lang kung saan pwede magsuntukan dito.
Honestly, pre, yung maagang pwesto ni Elvin kanina, wasn't even bad.
Yup.
Wanted that push dun sa may LB, pre. Gusto niya lang kunin yung sabon dun, pero no.
Dulas eh.
EBR talaga yung pinapadala dun.
Uy, that's a good flash. Uy, napa-AC Tetsu! Napa-AC Tetsu par! Grabe naman yung tapon na yun, KSA! With the ankles broken! Oh my goodness me, Zetra, nakita na nga dito si Aiden. And that is why you learn your lineups, kids. And teens and adults at this point. KSA will be getting the double spray as well. 7-3 at dahil lang sa isang flash Salvatore, napa-free itong HM.
Was it even the flash? Feeling ko lang talaga. May trip lang talaga si Tetsu na tumingin eh, no? Pero pre, any other sniper would have held that spot. Sabi, Tetsu, feeling ko, may nireport ba yung mga kakampi niya na may ingay, may flash? You have to take a look at that round, pre. Kasi grabe naman, Virtus.pro with one heck of like a misdirection na naman. Pero teka lang, no?
Uy.
Teka lang, Aiden. Gonna get caught bilang pambawi nga sa nangyari kanina. After that Elvin pick, Virtus.pro naman ngayon mamumuno dito sa round na to. But Aiden now down. I feel like there should be some more leniency ng CBF para makapag B-site, no? Iniwan na nga nila si Yaba na nasa vents. Let's see.
Yan, sitting and waiting. CBF, no other choice in the matter, pare. Pero pakaramdam ko talaga itong si Aldrin and especially itong si Tetsu. They really want to get a frag back or a frag in return, pare. It might come in the form of Yaba. Kung maganda yung kanyang angulo dito. But there is rhyme and reason kung bakit. Pag magta-take sila ng importanteng posisyon itong Virtus.pro, they always take 3 players with them. Zetra, Yobib, and itong si KSA. They always would want to guarantee a trade, especially knowing na sila na may man advantage dito. One of these angles is bound to only be watched by a singular player. Pero, dahil nga 2-2 yung depensa dito ng CPF natin, man, they're gonna be split apart.
Setra? I swear, Setra, pag ikaw pananalo dito. Buti naman. Buti naman. Pre, mind I tell you, si Tetsu, kailangan niya pa mag-reposition dun. So Tetsu had to go for another repick and he gets a second one and a triple for Tetsu. Hindi mapigilan ng tarima ni Dad sa loob ng B-site. Now Yobib trying to make a play para mabawi dito. Lahat na mga nawala sa Virtus.pro. Now Yobib swinging. Yobib repositioning si Elvin. Lilikod na nga. Alam na nga ba ni Yaba? Deathcam activated. Alam na nga. There goes the peak but it's all too late. Elvin getting it para sa Virtus.pro. Tinuturo-turo na kung sino ba talaga.
Man,
Dapat mamuno dito, ha?
I'm pretty good at reading lips, pare. Pero feeling ko words of affirmation yung nasabi ko ni Keller sa kanyang screen. Pero
Crossfire rocks eh, no?
Crossfire rocks. Yun yung makikita mo, men, pag tinype mo yung sinabi niya. Pero ayun nga, men, Virtus.pro, very well played from that side. Tingnan mo yung 2v2 na yun, no, Salvatore. Yobib, as soon as he spotted both players, full uncommit dito sa fight. Just papatagalan na lang as much as possible habang nagpa-flank dito si Elvin. And that is kind of the prerogative dito ng Virtus.pro. The fight is never alone para sa kanila, pare. Pero CBF, isang A-execute Ang kailangan nila i-defend dito pare, Aiden, not really blinded by the flash. Umakit na ka dito, Keller, mamamatay. Yobib getting Aldrin in return. Yaba, good spray dito kay Yobib. And good spray dito kay KSA. Pero piso na lang si Yaba pare. Whoever has a ratrat, kung may ratrat or pistol, pwede pang tapos sa kanya pare. Never mind, one tap na lang galing kay Setra kay Tetsu. And all of a sudden, the 3 versus 2 turns into a 2 versus 1 for the 6-man ng CBF. But can the 6-man turn super para sa team niya? 1 versus 2. Zetra nakanood na lang dito sa exit with Bright at the same time. If he crosses on the site, Zetra has a shot and Zetra has a kill. 9-3. Virtus.pro looking to finish the foolishness min dito sa Ankara pare.
Tapusin na ang kalokohan indeed, Sneaky. Di na dapat pinapatagal pa ang mga laban na hindi pumapalag ang kalaban. Pre, ayon dito sa Virtus.pro, CBF struggling to make a move. Wala na ngang maipakitang galaw dito ang CBF. Every single play has been readable for CBF, Sneaky. Kalahin mo nga naman, pre, that defensive play for Yaba to delay top A good enough para makarating si Bright. Gulat na lang ako, nakaangat na pala si Cetra pa room A, which is very much questionable no kung paano nga nangyari yun. Going back into the round itself, 1 minute and 39, Virtus.pro. Different. Virtus.pro we're seeing the prior round na pumuwesto kaagad sila. Papuntang LA ngayon, they're taking their time. Adrian, he's sniping and he's killing. There goes the shot in. 4v5 na nga tayo.
He's gonna white swing. Never mind, kinrap-speak na lang dito si Aldrin pare. I was thinking Aldrin will be playing a bit more of a further position, no? But a bit of a pre-fire, pre-aim galing dito kay KSA will be getting that sniper out of commission. Problema nga lang dito sa Alvi. Buhay pa si Tetsu and he could be the X factor for this round and repeat papunta dito kay Elvin, canceling yung lurk ng Virtus.pro. Decision to make. Is it gonna be a pure fight on the A side? Flash is gonna go through. Room A occupied. KSA nakita na si Bright. USP di tatama. Yobib di tatama as well. And it's a 9-4. Really well played galing sa ComebackFriends. Nahuli nila si Elvin. Nahuli nila si Kellar. And there's not much options para sa VP.
Really, a defense na pwedeng maging proud ang CBF dun eh, no? There's already information early on, no? Makakapag-cross nga ng CA ang mga members ng CBF or kung CA man, it definitely has to be Ukay.
Uy, ganda na spot ni Yaba.
Nga pre, Yaba.
Is that Mac Ankara? Dito si Revenge?
Sakto niyo si Aldrin eh. No B player, Sneaky. RS lang, second mid, and top A. How do you even play split? Go B rush? Deny itong pwesto sa hukay? Second mid? Yun lang yung magiging alanganin nga sa kanila. Pero si KSA na-sprayan. Siya sana mag-clear ng hukay dito, no? Pero si Aiden, kitang-kita. It's a very good crossfire for CBF if they get the CA player. Pero wala talagang nagmamatsyag for VP. KSA! How? Paano? How did they cancel itong position ni Yaba? Ini-sprayan si KSA but they reposition Aiden and Tetsu now. Double PK with KSA! My God! Destroying the setup of CBF! The only hope para maging 9-5-2 pero uuwi ng Virtus.pro bilang panalo. 4K for KSA! Virtus.pro shuts down Ankara!
Yun lang men, may nakita akong itim na tuldok sa taas ng HM pare. Hindi po yan falling star, yan po ay flashbang at bulag na bulag. Lahat ng CBF players at bulag sila sa katotohanan na mananalo dito ang Virtus.pro. 2-1, a bit of a struggle dito sa Eagle Eye. Pero pagdating naman sa Ankara map natin, that struggle wasn't really present whatsoever. It is KSA performing as expected dito sa mapa natin. Zetra hitting his shots, granted, no? Still very well played galing kay Aldrin. He kept it consistent all throughout the 3 maps. Man, kaso Virtus.pro, the playbook is just too thick. And yun nga naman, pakiramdam ko nakita ni KSA si Yaba dun sa hukay and they knew exactly what the setup was. Kasi men, nasetapan na ng ganyan yung VP back in the day when they were still going up against Pacific Macta pare. So I feel like they're like, hold on, Aldrin's on this team. pwedeng tong lumabas and tamang-tama ang kanilang counter, pare, man. What a flash as well. Whoever chucked yung flash na yan, pare, big shoutout sa'yo, Pin.
And knowing KLR, most likely talaga. Si KLR nagtawag talaga dun no? And it was just not Hukay, pre, no? Kahit sinong mag-cross, may kita nila yung flash wala doon sa players ng HM no? And hindi pa AK ginamit niya. Doon niratrat niya yung buong USP. Use the AK para makuha ang triple kill to destroy the hopes and dreams of CBF. My God, CBF, ayun, may taling na tuloy ang kanilang playoff journey dito, Sneaky. Meanwhile, Virtus.pro is all the way up once again dito, no? What an amazing gameplay here for Virtus.pro. They just don't know how to stop being so good. Grabe naman, Sneaky. Look at those plays. All were executes, all were wisecracks dito para sa Virtus.pro. Grabe naman, Sneaky. I'm absolutely speechless talaga. Hindi ko ma-explain paano nga nila nagagawa to freely.
And yeah, man, it's just, honestly, this series actually was pretty good pagdating sa dalawang very different na playstyles natin. And I feel like if any team is watching, no, if you are matches or yung let's say stallions, no, maybe you can pick up some stuff galing dito sa CBF kasi yung mga ibang rounds that they kind of freestyle, they can definitely learn considering na how equal yung playstyle nila. Hindi naman equal kumbaga in terms of level, pero pagdating sa playstyle, I see some similarities para naman sa mga ibang teams that do like the strategic way of things, to kagaya ng Atras and let's say some parts of Fervid, no, but they also do like to go aggressive. I think y'all should watch etong Virtus.pro natin kasi the amount of setups na nagagawa nila dito sa mapa and the amount of baiting na nakukuha nila just like what I said, the single piece of information, yun nga, no, can definitely be learned by the other teams and I feel like they can definitely level up dito sa tournament natin. So, honestly, very well played from both sides. We kind of saw some very high-level crossfire in between itong CBF at Virtus.pro and I couldn't be happier, pare, despite the loss dito ng CBF.
And tindi talaga, no? Virtus.pro, no? Destroying every single thing that CBF could have used para makuha nga nila yung momentum winning round no? Pero ben, tinigal talaga ni KSA once again. Virtus.pro prevailing in their own style of play, dictating the pace and dictating the game outcome, no? Pero for sure, yung ating panel nagsi-standby nga ngayon, maraming masasabi kasi nga hanggang ngayon, nagulat pa rin sila sa panapos na bara ng Virtus.pro. Kaya Mochi and Bipolar, kamusta tayo dyan?
Maraming salamat sa ating mga casters, Siggy Frog as well as Salvatore, and I feel like it's about time na hugutin natin yung dagdag na vocabulary natin, no, Bipolar?
Yes.
Kasi I feel like everyone was flabbergasted and what they did there is ineffable, no? Lahat tayo nagulat at hindi natin mawari o ma-explain kung ano yung nangyari doon sa ating last round kanina na bilang panapos dito ng Virtus.pro because talagang when it comes to the being so all-knowing dito sa ating mapa ng Ankara, I feel like yun lang ang masasabi natin dito. Reason as to why kung bakit ganun ka-perfecto ang ginawa dito ng VP. And here for the CBF, no, props to Tetsu. Alam kong you did what you can, pero I feel like sadyang ganun lang kakapal yung mga kayang gawin dito, no? Ganun kakapal ang playbook ng Virtus.pro. And I hope that your brain cells were put to rest after such a pag-grueling series against VP.
I mean, coming out dito sa aking sa word bag ko, there was a collective effort mula dito sa ating Virtus.pro to over-compartmentalize yung utak dito ni Tetsu and pati na rin yung buong CBF node. It was really just simplicity mula sa Virtus.pro, pero that simplicity is not simple for other teams like CBF, like Execration, like for Vid, no, it's really just hard to look at. At no, talagang napiga dito ating CBF, pero nakita naman natin yun. Specifically round number 5 and round number 6, nakita natin CBF playing so well, using Bright as an anchor kapag nasa post plant na to get these rounds in epic. Lahat tumatama Pero pagdating dito sa ating next couple of rounds, especially on the next one sa second half natin, nakita natin dito, it was Keller, it was KSA, it was Elvin na talagang tumututok every time. Despite nakakuha dito si Tetsu, despite nakakuha si Yaba dito, it was still a blood fest. And the only one staying alive was always Virtus.pro. May kita rin natin dito, no, na parang nakita nga natin kanina, and I would like to ask this later on, no, kung si KLR yung makakausap natin. Pinayorit, or at least napansin dito ni Salvatore and as well as the caster natin si Sneaky Frog na there was a bit of a change pagdating sa ating strat book dito ng Virtus.pro. Binigay nila yung high mid parang inipit lang nila, were they going for retake or were they going for sandwich plays kapag kumagat ang comeback friends dito sa high mid and as well yung RS. Kasi if you look at those angles na pupunta ng ating Virtus.pro, kung mangyari ngayon sandwich play, meron tao agad sa exit, meron manggagaling dito sa may site mismo ng B site para makita yung high mid side, which was so deadly, kung saan hindi na prioritize dito ng comeback friends yung LB natin, yung LA, just to get some other angles. But look at that, man. KSA had immense map pressure, has immense map control, and para siyang naka-X-ray kasi we also saw him calling for a flash from another side of the map, tapos pinatay niya pa yung nasa may hukay, and I feel like that was yaba, no? But KSA, 100% rating. Kian,
Ewan ko
grabe
lang talaga.
ka! Walang tumitigil sa'yo mula BL hanggang GRSI.
Totoo, no? At kahit nung umpisa pa lang na nakikita natin sila, no? Sabi nga ni Coach Zero to, merong mga moments na gusto niya pagseryosohin itong mga players niya. Pero si KSA lang talaga yung bukod tangi, hindi yun magawa-gawa. He's just being himself all throughout, no? Regardless sa kung saan yung magiging laban nila. At pinakita niya yun lalo dito sa mapa ng Ankara. And hence, no, despite the fact na merong nakuhang mapa dito, ang Comeback Friends, it didn't last that long. I feel like the novel, that is the amount of strats na meron dito for Virtus.pro is just a bit too much for Tetsu and the bunch here from CBF to handle. Kaya naman natapos ito ng Virtus.pro with a 10-4 sa mapa ng Ankara. And dude, I don't even know, no? Every single time na makikita natin dito si KLR sa mapa ng Ankara, no, parang siya lagi yung pasimuno kung bakit the glue that holds everything together para dito, no, sa Virtus.pro. Pero ang ating match MVP, walang iba kung hindi si Cetra. Being consistent simula sa umpisa hanggang dulo. Well, we're no longer stranger to this type of narrative, bipolar.
I mean, kung tinanggal yung headset mo, no, syempre bibigyan na lang natin yung match MVP dito kay Cetra para di siya mag-feedback. But again, consistency, that is what Cetra gives you. Even if minimum lang ibigay niya dito, he still gets the most impressive frags, most impressive impactful plays from sub-base up until Ankara gumana dito si Cetra. Yes, we did see some pop-offs mula dito kay Tetsu, pero it was no fit up against Cetra's firepower. Looking at actually Eagle Eye. It was crazy to see na nakita natin dito si Cetra tumodong-todo na hindi natin nakita dito na talagang nahirapan si Cetra, because even on Eagle Eye we saw Cetra in a place na you have another sniper in the bag of Yobib. And now in Ankara, we know him to play well. Even on B, even on high mid, even on A site, lahat yan. Tatama dito si Cetra. And man, oh man, this team, as the days go by, kahit natalo sila sa isang mapa, they keep on improving at ibang Virtus.pro ang palagi nating nakikita.
True, no? And aalala mo din, no, parang naging reminder lang nila, no, yung kaharap nila yung matches na lahat ng mga teams dito is pantay-pantay. Pero other than that, when it comes to perfection, I feel like that is the very thing na ginagawa din dito ni Virtus.pro and ensuring na yun ang kanilang matatamasan till the end of these leagues. Kaya naman, i-welcome na natin dito ang ating match MVP, no other than the sniper rifle handler himself, si Cetra lang naman nga talaga. Hello, Cetra, no? Congratulations. Ikaw muli ang aming karap ngayon dito, no? Sa ating desk. Hindi ka naman nagsasawa.
Hindi naman po.
Okay, no? Hindi naman. Good to know, good to know. So, simulan na natin ito, no? I am wondering kung ano nangyari sa ating second map, Cetra. Can you walk us through bakit na pakawalan natin ang mapa na yun?
Yung map 2 po na yun, kumbaga, nawala po kami sa momentum. Kasi ano po yun 7-2 po yung score. Tapos ang nangyari po,
Yes.
nabawasan po kami ng dalawa. Bale, naging 5-2 po, so nawala po kami sa momentum. Tapos binigay na lang namin yung map. Kasi parang kailangan nila
Cetra,
I like that answer.
you're getting
Yeah.
spicier every day, man. I like it. Gusto ko yan. Ano yan?
Uy, ano yan?
Cetra,
Nag-agawan
since we're talking,
Sa akin
ay,
Hello po.
sayang, no? Mamaya,
Yes po.
next time kay Laro, huwag ka mag-alala, no? Pero Cetra, we talked about Eagle Eye 2.0 ng konti, no? Let's talk about it even more. Isa kayo sa teams na nag-wield ng double TRG, right? Yo, Bib, diretso round number 1 pa lang dito sa GR side nyo. You have already double TRG set. I wanna know, as a main sniper dito ng Virtus.pro, mas napapadali ba yung trabaho ni Cetra dito? Or is there just equal efforts mula sa inyo ni Yo, Bib? Kasi sometimes na nakikita natin dito, almost in one of these halves na outfront ka ni Yo, Bib sa sniping department, no? Is it easier or may bigat pa din para kay Cetra na to really perform in this kind of caliber?
Wala naman po. Para sa akin po, mas magaan kasi pag dalawa po kami sniper, hindi lang po sa akin yung pitas. Ganun.
Mas maganda lang talaga no, yung ginagagawa niyo.
Mas magaan lang po sa akin.
Okay. Mochi.
Mas magaan at mas mabilis ang mas madali ang trabaho, kumbaga, no, etc. So, ito, no, I am wondering, we are all wondering, ano ang nangyari sa ating last round sa Angkara, no? Kasi nagkaroon na ng mga bets at mga hinuha ang ating mga casters kanina, no, na si Salvatore as well as si Sneaky Frog. Paano nyo nalaman na nandun si Yaba at paano nyo nabasa yung umpisang pwestuhan dito ng ComebackFriends? Kasi nagulat kami, may pa-line up kayo, preparado kayo, tumingin doon sa hukay. Ano nangyari doon? Bakit gano'n? Nakakagulat.
Ano po yun? Nakita ko po tumuwid yun yung Yaba. Tumuwid po siya ng high mid. Nakita ko po.
Okay.
Kaya pinlasyan po yung high mid.
So from
Mas
the get-go
maganda po
pa lang, aware na kayo?
Apo.
Nice.
Tsaka, isipin mo yun, no? Mochi pati Cetra, parang
Grabe.
tropa ko ng Cetra. Na parang from isang contact play dito ni Cetra kay Yaba, yun mismo yung nagpanalo sa inyo ng round, no? I mean, going back dito sa ating sa ating Ankara, throwback tayo na onte sa ating round, specifically round number 7, etc. Na nakapuntos dito ng dalawang players natin ay yung CBF, and on round number 7, biglang nagulatan lahat. 3-2 setup, etc. 2 sa A site, 3 sa B site. Wala kayong control sa high mid, pati second mid halos. 'Di ba? Anong plano doon? Was it to sandwich these players na sa high mid or mag-retake na lang yung buong Virtus.pro? Kasi parang sa amin ang hirap noon kasi high mid is such a priority para sa CBF.
True.
Ano po, yung naging goal po nun, kumbaga magre-retake na lang po kami. Kaya ganun po yung naging pwestuhan namin.
Okay. Thanks, Cetra.
Alright. Liking everything dito, no? Parang napunta na tayo sa technical aspect nitong interview na to. Pero once again, no, Cetra, maraming salamat sa pagsagot sa aming mga katanungan at nagkaroon ng kalinawan sa kung ano yung mga nangyari. Especially kung gaano ka-tactical din yung mga galawan nyo dito, no? And I guess the floor is yours. Pwede mo lang i-shoutout lahat ng mga gusto mong i-shoutout dito and even your supporters. Go.
Yun po. Shoutout po sa Virtus.pro, sa manager namin, sa fans, saka sa boss namin, and sa family ko. Kay mama, kay ate, sa kay kuya. Tapos sa girlfriend ko. Tapos yung may shoutout po pala kay Kuya Manny. Yan po. Yan lang po.
Ayan na.
Shoutout kay Kuya Manny. Manny Ningin. Kilala mo ako si Go.
Okay, Cetra brother, congratulations. No? Thank you very much.
Maraming
Thank you
salamat
po.
and good luck.
Thank you.
Alright.
Thank you.
Grabe, no? I love the whole interview, no? May kaunting spice, pero talagang nakafocus tayo ng maigi dun sa palautakan na nangyari dito sa buong serya natin, no? Kay Polar. And I'm quite happy how it turned out, and I'm pretty sure na sila din.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing, no, Mochi? Akala ko nga, kung pwede lang talaga tayo isang oras with Cetra, feeling ko lalo na tag-improve si Cetra, not just on the sniping pati sa question and answer, no? Parang mauubos natin yun. Pero again, congratulations World VP, pero comeback friends, nice try.
True, no? Marami lang tayong oras, ang dami pa natin na tanong. Pero maraming salamat once again, no, to VP for grabe, no? Quite of a absolute cinema of a series. Pero guys, susunod natin na laban is going to be Atras Esports versus Execration. This is gonna be quite of a banger once again. Again, intayin nyo lang, abangan ninyo Atras Esports versus Execration. Maya-maya malalaman natin kung ano ang mangyayari dyan.